Hey y'all, Justin with Kayak Catfish. Well, I am back in Tennessee, and man, is it good to be home, y'all. But today I am going to be fishing on the Emory River. It's right here at sunrise. That sun is trying to peek up through the clouds and over the trees over yonder, but I'm gonna take a stretch of shoreline today and just go fishing, man. Just catch whatever we can catch. This is going to be a raw and uncut trip, which basically means I turn this camera on and just leave it rolling for the duration. You see every cast, every fish, every snag, whatever happens, you see it just as if you were out here fishing with me, because, well, that's the goal of these raw and uncut videos, is to bring you along with me just on a real fishing trip. It's about as real as it gets when you do this style of video. So I'm right here at the bottom of the Emory River. This over here is the Clinch River. This is right where the Emory dumps in, and so we're going to start right here on these rocks here on this point and just take a stretch and just kind of work our way up through here. And I'm going to throw today this bait right here most of the day. This is a Gulp minnow, 1-inch size in the smelt color. That's a 1/64 ounce jig head, number 8 hook, 2-pound test line on my trusty St. Croix Panfish Series Ultralight rod. Now, in the event we come across some skipjack or some white bass, I do have a couple other rods with me here with my normal skipjack rigs tied on, so we'll try to catch some catfish bait out here if we see them. I don't know if we will or not. I have caught some skipjack in this area before, but, well, there was something splashing right there behind me. But as far as the skips and white bass go, I don't know. I fish this area maybe 2-3 times a year at the most, so I don't know if they're here right now or not, but we're prepared if they are. So anyway, I'm gonna get the camera in the chest, enough flapping my gums. Let's get over here and start making us some casts and see what all we can catch today. Like I said, I am happy to be home in Tennessee again. I have been going to North Carolina fishing on Kerr Lake, or as the North Carolina people have educated me, it is pronounced Carr Lake. Even there's another big splash over yonder. They call it Carr Lake, even though it is spelled Kerr, K-E-R-R. How the hell you get car out of that, I don't know. Seems like if they wanted to call it Carr Lake, they'd have spelled it C-A-R, but what the hell do I know? But you know how the North Carolina people are. They're the same people that call crappie crappy, so they don't know how to talk anyway. But anyway, after being educated over there all stinking week about how I don't know how to talk, I'm back, and I tell you what I need today, y'all, is just a day of just relaxation. I've been fishing hard over there, getting after them catfish and stuff, and I was looking forward to today. I thought I had a fish right there, man. Something hit me. I'm looking forward to a day of just getting out here, throwing this gulp, catching who knows what, and a bunch of them. This has got to be stripers over here, y'all. Man, them fish just keep coming up splashing. That's got to be, that was bait right there, but over yonder, that's got to be stripers in big splashes. Anyway, we're gonna have some fun today, and appreciate those of you who's clicked on this video coming with me. There was something else that hit me. We're gonna throw basically at everything down through here. We're gonna throw at. We're just gonna take a section. We're starting right here at the very bottom of the Emory River, and we're gonna work our way along. We're gonna throw at these down trees, rocks, whatever we come across, and along the way we're going to catch some fish. We'll have dead stretches where we don't catch anything, but then we'll get on a tree that'll be stacked with 10 fish, 20 fish. So over the next 2, 3, 4 hours, however the hell long we run this video, however long y'all can bear with me, we're going to catch some fish. This is one of my favorite ways to fish. I did a little bit of this over in North Carolina just to get some bait, but I didn't really dedicate a great deal of time to it. I was over there in preparation for a tournament which ultimately I won. Self high five. Won a few $1,000. So it was a nice little payday. Got a big fish there on turn. I ended up getting first place in big fish in the tournament. So productive trip. Oh man, this fish, there's something over there hitting me. It must be small bluegill or something. I've been hit 4 or 5 times now. We'll keep moving along till we find something big enough to eat that bait. If they can't eat that number 8 size hook and that 1-inch gulp, they're way too small for what we want today. But yeah, it was a productive time. I'd never fished that lake before going over there, and so it was kind of just show up and wing it kind of trip. I hit a few different areas both on the North Carolina and Virginia side of the lake, and ultimately for tournament day I decided to hit an area on the North Carolina side. And you know, like a clock, I'm right about twice a day, so it was happened to be the right decision at that particular time. So glad it worked out, but boy, I'm happy to be home. It's nice to sleep in my own bed again. It's nice to have my own crapper again. I was staying at a hotel over there in Oxford, North Carolina, small town. I was staying at the Comfort Inn, and it was a nice enough hotel. They had a nice breakfast. It was clean and quiet and all, but you know what these hotels all have in common? And I can't understand this for the life of me. This is just one of them things. These hotels, it's 2023, folks. These hotels, they're all on a budget, man. They're all cutting corners, cutting expenses every which way they can. But yet, all of them are still putting toilet paper in the bathrooms. None of them have invested in a bidet. None of them. So, you know, I'm a man of culture. At my house, I got a bidet. I ain't using toilet paper like a Neanderthal anymore. I just, you know, I'm above that now. So when I go on the road and I gotta switch back to the old TP, you know, it's kind of like riding a bike. When you trying to remember how to wipe your hind end, the muscle memory is there from where you done it for so long, growing up and all. Here's a fish. We finally got one. How far are we into the trip here? Lord, we're 7 minutes into me talking. Where you been, fish? Lordy days. Been waiting on you forever. That's a nice bluegill, though. Fish number 1's nice, man. Check out the size of that thing. Oh. I may keep a few bluegill today. I'll probably let this one go. We might keep some toward the end of our trip. Oh. Lord, fish. Was you just wanting measured? Is that what you was wanting? You just gonna hop down here and get yourself on the board? I don't think you're gonna be 8-incher or nothing. Let's throw him on there though, just for doo-doos and giggles. He's probably 7.5 to 7 3/4 inch range. That's a nice bluegill. I'll take that. Not a bad start for fish number 1. He interrupted my toilet paper story though, and he got my jig wrapped around my line here. What are we doing here with this? Boy, it wrapped around a couple times. See, this is what you get on a raw and uncut video that you don't get on a normal one, because I'd edit this crap right here out on a regular video. Y'all wouldn't see that mess. But anyway, I was trying to talk about wiping my hind end, because that's what y'all want to hear about on a fishing video, right? But you go to these hotels, and you're at home, you're using a bidet, and then you go to these hotels that of course you gotta go back to the caveman ways of using toilet paper, and it's like you gotta relearn how to wipe your hind end again. You know, thankfully muscle memory takes over, but you know, it's hard on the old sphincter when you ain't used to wiping. So I'm happy to be home. But these hotels, they cut corners in every way possible. But one of the biggest expenses probably in their toileting section is probably the toilet paper. I imagine they spend way more toilet paper than they do on the soaps and shampoos and stuff. So I don't know, maybe these hotels will eventually get with the times and I can maybe travel somewhere. Here's another fish. I mean, I don't want to have to stay at no damn Ritz-Carlton to get a bidet, but I feel like that's where we're at in society. You can't go to the Comfort Inn in Oxford, North Carolina and expect to get your tail washed. What about you, bluegill? You got a bidet down there? Oh, he said he swims around in a bidet. Swims around in a septic tank's what he does. I guarantee these houseboats out here, you think they all go onto these pump stations and stuff and doing things like they supposed to? I guarantee you they ain't. I bet you they dumping their pee-pee and doo-doo out here in the water. Another one right here. This ain't gonna measure up either, but it's another bite. We went the first 7 minutes of this video, couldn't get nothing to hook up. Now we at least got down here and got on something big enough to get the bait and the hook. You want to know something funny about that bluegill we just got a minute ago there, that 7+ incher? Well, I was over there in North Carolina. The first day I got in town, I launched my kayak, went right across the channel in a little cove. There was something splashing. Let's go over there. Let's see what's going on over there, buddy. There's something chasing. He just coming up flipping me the bird on video. Oh, he hit it. No, he didn't. All right. That fish did really want to get on video, didn't he? Yeah, right here's another bluegill I'd like to have in North Carolina. But the first day I got into town, tell him hi and bye. Tell him hit the like and subscribe, bluegill. He says he don't care if you subscribe or not. That fish has got a bad attitude first thing in the morning. I hope his mama smacks him across the face when he gets back home. But I went right across the channel from where I launched at day one in North Carolina, just to get out of the wind because it was cranking. I needed some bait. Second dock I come to, stacked with fish, crappie, bluegill, bass. I mean, it was just one after another. I had bait like 15 minutes. I had a cooler full of bait. I was ready to go. And I was like, man, catching bait over here on this trip like this is going to be easy. That was the only easy bait session of my whole trip. After that, I couldn't hardly buy a fish. I was finding perch, white perch, like 3-4 inches long, bluegill 3-4 inches long, but to get a bluegill like we got there a few minutes ago, but 7.5 inches long, forget about it. I don't know if there are any over there in that lake. If they are, I sure as heck couldn't find them. It was crazy. And I had my live scope on too. Like, you know, I'm out here today in my pedal kayak, because this is kind of my, what I consider my bare bones setup. I don't have any graph or anything on this, but my other kayak, I mean, it's rigged out, all the bells and whistles. I've got my, here's another fish. Man, we're tearing them up right here. I'm flapping my gums, but we're catching fish one after another. There's bluegill all over, man. This is another good one right here. But I was trying to say, I was moving along over there at Kerr Lake, and I had my live scope on, just looking forward all times, and I never really saw anything like brush piles, like nothing. If you come over here, pretty much anywhere I fish here in East Tennessee, and you get in these coves and these creeks and stuff, like crappie fishermen have sunk a ton of brush piles. Like there's a ton of man-made stuff out there, fish attractors, if you will. But over there in North Carolina, man, Carr Lake, excuse me, there wasn't anything. I mean, it was just pretty much barren through there in the places that I was fishing. And so it was tough to find bait. Now, the positive of that was I was dragging for catfish. That's what I caught all my fish on, all but one for the whole week. was caught on dragging. I caught one fish on a suspended bait, but when you're dragging, it's nice to be in kind of a barren wasteland because there's nothing to get snagged in. I didn't lose a single rig all week long. This bluegill. Look at this, look how thick this one is, man. Look at that. Well, they are active right here at first light, buddy. I mean, we have gotten on them. Took us 7 minutes there to get the first fish, but I don't know how many we've got since then. I need to shout out somebody. Now I'm struggling to remember the screen name now. I'm a terrible YouTuber. But there's a fella, you know, I may be being sexist, right? I don't know if it's a man or a woman, to be honest with you. There's a viewer. What's this? What is that? Is that bass or skipjack? That's bass, a largemouth. But there's a viewer. Look at that. He put that hook right in my finger. Joke's on you, bass. Is that hook ain't very big. That one don't hurt. There's a little bit of current going up the river right here. You see that? Well, there's no wind out here. I'm getting pushed upstream. Something hit me right here. It's a little bigger. I think I want to circle back around and kind of come through this area again. But anyway, I was trying to say there's a viewer that my last couple raw and uncut videos, which have been over 3 hours long each, that viewer has went through and tracked my stats, which is pretty incredible. Like tracked like how many fish caught, all the various species, how many jigs lost. I mean, everything. It's been pretty incredible. I assume they're telling the truth. Hell, I don't know. I don't go back and watch these videos when I'm done. Oh, that bluegill, he didn't want to be on video today. He said heck with it. He didn't realize we were filming, or he wouldn't have bit, he said. We're going to circle back through this area here in a second. It's stacked with bluegill, buddy. I'm on another one just like that. Lost that one. But yeah, this fella, and these videos, I mean, they've been, the last 2 raw and uncut videos have been over 3 hours. And this fella has went through and tracked every fish, or fella or lady, excuse me. Not sure which. Done all that for me, and I can't even recall the screen name off the top of my head. That's what a lousy YouTuber I am. This bluegill thinks I'm a lousy fisherman too, but boy, man, there's some decent quality bluegill right here now. This makes me happy. This is exactly what I was hoping to happen. I'd like to get on some crappie or some yellow bass, or, you know, a variety of species today too. But if I can keep catching bluegill like that, it's gonna be a good day. I'm just gonna fish for a few hours this morning. I got some stuff to do around the house. You know how it is when you go away for a week, especially this time of year. Man, here's another one. They are all up and down right through here, y'all. So I got a spider web on my nose. But you know how it is. You go away for a week, stuff at the house just backs up on you. My yard, I mowed it, but I got to mow it again because it's this time of year. It's August. I guess it reseeds itself or something in August, because my yard, it gets real thick, and so it was tall and thick. What have I done? That was a terrible cast. I don't even know what happened there. What did I do? Now I've ripped the tail of my gulp off. I'm done, I guess. Let's switch this out right quick, and we're gonna circle back around. I want to come back through this area here. I'm blowing up on the shore too. Let me grab my pea cup and get us another one here. Well, I just spilt half that gulp juice everywhere, didn't I? But anyway, I gotta get my house back in working order. I gotta do some laundry. I gotta, chore stuff. So it ain't gonna be too terribly long fishing session today, but we're gonna catch some fish while we can. Probably toward the end of this trip. I don't have a lot of ice in my cooler, so we'll keep a few bluegill. If we see any skipjack or white bass busting out here, like I mentioned there, we do have our other rods, so we can kind of go after them and see if we can get some of those for the next catfishing trip. I think I'm gonna try to go catfishing tomorrow. I just kind of wanted a day right now to just kind of decompress. I've said this in other ultralight videos, and I know people think I'm crazy as we go back down here and make another pass through this area. But I know people think I'm crazy when I say this, but like, there's something very rewarding and very satisfying about coming out in a kayak like this with just basic, you know, no motor, no graph, no batteries, nothing, just going fishing, just a single rod and a bait, as simple fishing as it gets. And when you get home, you're done. You know, you just unhook the kayak from the car, no batteries to charge, nothing. It's nice. I love my other kayak and having the motor and live scope and, you know, all those bells and whistles. It's great. But I'm gonna tell you what, when you traveling all week and you gotta lug them batteries up 3 floors on a hotel every day when you done fishing, and go back down and set all that crap up on the kayak again, because you know, I mean, you don't want to leave all that crap out in a hotel parking lot where things just happen to even in the state like North Carolina, in a small town like Oxford, things will walk off if you just leave stuff set out. So you got to break everything down, put everything back on the kayak every day. It's just a nuisance, you know, and it's nice to just be able to come out and go fishing and not have to fool with any of that stuff. So a lot of people don't understand that, and I get that you don't understand it, but for those of you that do, you know, it's just kind of good for the soul. So today's one of them days for me. We just getting a little soul therapy, a little fishing soul therapy. We're gonna try to ruin some of these fish's day to the point that they're gonna need therapy. Talk about what I've done to them. Some of these bluegill are gonna have PTSD today, where I've jerked them up out this water. That one little largemouth bass, I guarantee he's already caught his shrink too. I thought we'd circle back through here and instantly start getting bit some more, but no such luck. What is that on the hold on a second here, y'all. If I got water on the camera lens, or is that just that fog down there? Oh goodness, y'all, we got bear with me a second here. One of them dang fish splashed y'all in the face there on the lens. Why didn't you holler at me and tell me? Lord, you gotta let me know these things, folks. Y'all, I ain't half paying attention to that camera screen now. Got fish to catch. One of us on this trip has to stay focused. Dang old fish trying to sabotage this video. That's just like a bluegill, man. They got one of them little man complexes or something. Well, I don't know how the hell we got bit all the way down through here. Now I circle back and can't get a bite. That don't make no damn sense, does it? We'll just keep going along here. Like I said, ain't nothing special. There's a boat ramp here on the other side of the channel, and so I come down here and launched and come right over here, basically that point right there off the off the Emory, and we'll just start right here and head up. But the current, they must be pushing some water down the clinch or something, because it's going up right now. So we'll just kind of drift along, I reckon. And it's barely moving, but I mean, you can notice that it is moving. So we'll just drift with it, I reckon, and see what we catch. It's nice, a nice morning out here. We're finally getting a little bit of relief from the heat. It was a summer meltdown while I was gone, and tournament day over in North Carolina was pretty daggone miserable too. It was like 90 something degrees on tournament day, which probably felt like well over 100, I'd say, with the heat index. I mean, it was rough, I ain't gonna lie. But this morning out here, I think it's probably high 60s, around 70 maybe, and it's comfortable. Feels good out here. It was storming around me in North Carolina, but there was only one day where it got some rain, like during the morning hours, and I ended up fishing in the afternoon. It was fine. But here in Tennessee, here's a fish. Oh, I missed him. But here in Tennessee, we had some tornadoes come through while I was gone. So it's been some crazy weather this year. Between the extreme heat and all the rain we've had, it's been a really wet summer here in Tennessee. I mean, normally this is a little better, whatever this is. What is this? I don't know what this is. This ain't a bluegill. Maybe a bass of some kind right here, y'all. We'll back up just a little bit, get him away from that shore. Jump force, whatever you are, why don't you? There he is. You ain't gonna jump for us? This dang bass, he says I didn't pay him enough to jump. Well, come on in, you old thing, you old butterball. You ain't very long, but you got a little bit of a belly on you there, a little bit of a gut. Old large jaw, get out of here. He wanted him a bite of Gulp, he said. Everything will eat the Gulp. I say it all the time, my favorite ultralight bait by a country mile. I like catching them bass. I knew right away that wasn't a bluegill. You just never know. We might hook us a smallmouth down through here too. I don't know if you can see on the video because of the vegetation, but the landscape here is just kind of a rock wall that just comes off. And I don't know how, I mean, obviously I don't have a graph on. I don't know how deep we're setting here, and I've not fished here enough with a graph. Something hit me right there as I was reeling in. But I've not fished out here with a graph enough to remember off the top of my head how deep I'm setting kind of in this area. But I'd say the way it drops off, we're probably at least 10-15 feet here where we're at. I know out here behind me, kind of in the old river channel itself, I think it's like around 25-30 feet deep, maybe 40 feet deep. I just don't come down here too terribly often, maybe a couple times a year, 3 times a year. Seems like I did one of these ultralight videos down here last year or the year before. Probably should come down here more often with the action that we've got out here first thing. It's nice to be able to just launch a kayak and, you know, within 100 yards start fishing and shellacking some fish. One thing that having a motor on your kayak does is it expands your range. I'm obviously gonna go a lot farther in my motorized kayak than I am in my pedal kayak, but I just needed a day where I don't have to plug anything in when I get home. full of batteries, motors. Nice luxury items on the water, but off the water, especially when you're traveling, they become a little bit of a nuisance. And ironically, I covered a lot of water over there in North Carolina. I mean, here's fish. Well, I lost him. But I mean, I covered a lot of water. But where I ended up fishing on tournament day, I could have easily got by with pedal kayak. There's another something. Oh my gosh, there's snake bitten here. Not really snake bitten, thankfully, but keep losing fish for some reason. Oh goodness, boy, that one's firing back at us. Got to put an eye out. Now I got it caught in my arm over here. Lord. We gotta get together here, y'all. It's too early for this nonsense. Can we keep this one buttoned up? Listen here, he said listen, felt sorry for us. He said he'll come on in and get himself landed here. I appreciate you, Bluegill. Thanks for what you do. I had a boss one time back in the real world job. She'd always say, that was kind of her tagline on the end of an email. You know, there'd be a couple nice things that you done, and then the real reason for the email was to complain or gripe at you, you know, tell you something you need to correct. It was obvious, but she'd always throw something positive in there to disguise the fact she was emailing you to complain. But the tagline was always, thanks for what you do. So it was kind of a running jokes amongst us. we would be smart asses with each other and close out our conversations. But hey, by the way, thanks for what you do. I probably shouldn't be making fun of that. That woman's probably dead by now. Fun times though. That's probably the only fun thing about that job. Speaking of jobs, I'll tell you another story as we fish along here. Again, these videos, these raw and uncut videos, the goal of these is to just basically take y'all fishing, you know, just like you were out here, you know, in the kayak, or if we was in a boat fishing together, you know, we'd be talking and storytelling and stuff. So by gosh, you're gonna hear some stories. So speaking of work, so I was thinking the other day about an old co-worker I had. I got back home, North Carolina. Obviously I'd been away from Daphne the dog for a week. My parents watched her while I was gone, and so I took her over to the park there when I picked her up, and so we could go play and she could get a walk on the leash, you know, and do some stuff. And anyway, we got another fish right here. I think there's a tree comes out right here possibly. Looks like there's one down there in the water. Anyway, we're walking around the walking trail, and there's a swimming hole over at this particular trail, and it's a pretty popular swimming area. They get a lot of business over there in the evenings and weekends and stuff. There's, you know, kids and teenagers and stuff over there swimming. Anyway, me and Daphne, we're walking around the walking trail, and there was some girls that had clearly been swimming because they were in their bathing suits, but they had come up on the walking trail, as that bluegill says hi and bye, and they were smoking probably something, you know, a lot of people wouldn't approve of. That old marijuana is what it looked like to me. But anyway, they're there doing their thing, and me and Daphne, we're coming up behind them walking on this trail. And as I get closer to these girls, I notice that none of them have a stitch of fabric on their hind ends. They're out there in these thong bikinis. I mean, it looks like dental floss splitting their butt crack right there. And hey, I ain't complaining. I mean, these were fairly good-looking girls, probably in their early 20s, I'd say. So anyway, me and Daphne were walking along, and naturally I kind of just slow down and admire the view until such a time that they turn around and, you know, we make eye contact. Things get a little awkward because they know I'm taking a peek. Don't judge me. I'm a man. Of course I'm going to look. If you're a woman and you got your hind end hanging out, not a stitch of fabric on it, I'm going to look. Okay, obviously that's what you want to take place. Now, these girls, they were pretty good looking. One of them was clearly the runt of the group, but even though she wasn't the best to look at, she had some tattoo on one cheek. I never could figure out what it was, so it was kind of distracting. In hindsight, I should have spent more time looking at the other two girls than her, but I was fixated on that tattoo and trying to figure out what it was. But anyway, I'm getting off topic of what the real purpose of this story was, because again, it goes back to a coworker I had, and reason number 547 of why I don't understand women. And if you fellas out there, if you happen to be watching this video with your wives or your girlfriend, as we got another fish here, maybe they can help us understand. Maybe they can enlighten us on this, because for the life of me, I don't get it. That fish didn't want me to unhook him. He said he'd do it himself. So anyway, these girls, they out there in bathing suits, not a care in the world that their butt cheeks are hanging out, right? Well, flashback a few years ago, back when I was still working the real world job, there was a night I had a call from nature. Nature was calling. When I say nature was calling, nature was blowing up the dang phone. Like my innards was about to explode. And so I run back to the break room. And at this particular facility, we had a break room, and then there was one bathroom in the break room. And it was like, you know, it was a bathroom for everybody. Just unisex bathroom, male or female, whatever, just one there for the break room. Anyway, you know, nature's blowing up the phone. My innards about to explode. I rush back to the break room. I fling open that bathroom door, which was unlocked, by the way. And much to my surprise, and much to her surprise, there was one of my female co-workers standing there in her bra and panties. She was back there changing clothes. And, you know, she starts freaking out. You know, she's trying to use her arms and stuff to cover what her bra and panties are already covering, you know. But she's freaking out. She's like, Justin, get out of here. I'm like, Jordan, you get out of here. I'm about to shit my pants. And so anyway, thankfully she gets dressed and gets out, and, you know, and I made it through without crapping my drawers. Well, afterwards, for the next few times we worked together, things were a little awkward. You know, it was a little weird, not for me, but for her, because I had saw her in her bra and panties. Now, I didn't see anything because she had a bra and panties on. Like, you know, things were covered. The important stuff was covered. And, oh, that was a nice thump right here. Let's see what this is. I'm just taking a little drag. Well, he wasn't as big as the thump. But anyway, you know, not only did I not see anything, but my innards was about to explode when all this was happening. Like, I don't know what the exact statistics are. I'm going to flip this gulp upside down. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I had heard one time that men think about sex like so many times a minute or something like that. Like, we spend a big portion of our time thinking about getting it on, right? Like, it consumes our thoughts. But there are certain times when we're not thinking about that kind of thing. And one of those times is when we're about to crap our pants. When you're about to crap your pants, you're not worried about some girl's nip potentially protruding from her brassiere, okay? You're worried about not crapping your drawers. And so, anyway, this girl that I worked with, you know, very sweet girl and all, but just, it was awkward for the next few shifts we worked together because I had accidentally seen her in her brassiere and panties, which covered everything. And I got to looking on this girl's Facebook. We were Facebook friends, you know, being co-workers and all. And this girl, this same girl that's all weirded out because I seen her in her bra and panties, has got pictures on there of her on her beach vacation in skimpy little bikinis that was obviously way more revealing than what I had seen, even though I didn't even really look at the time, of her bra and panties. And so anyway, I'm at the park the other night with Daphne when I get back, and these girls walking around, thong bikinis on, got their whole butt cheeks hanging out, and I guarantee you, them girls too, if you walked in on them and saw them in regular bra and panties, they'd be freaked out about it. And it's like, what the hell is the difference? A bikini is just a fancy name for bra and panties. You've got a brassiere top and some kind of covering on the bottom, whether it be, you know, dental floss like these girls were wearing, or full butt cheek covering panties. Either way, a bikini is nothing more than another name for lingerie or bra and panties. So what the hell is the difference? So anyway, I saw them girls. I don't even know how we got on the topic of them girls, but I saw them, and that flashed back to that memory of that girl who was just all weirded out that I'd seen her in her bra and panties. So that's reason number 862 that I don't understand about women. Is what the hell's the difference between bikini and regular bra and panties? And here's another thing. If you got your wives and girlfriends there, have them answer me this question too. Because this is what the other thing I don't understand. Why spend money? And maybe I'm just too cheap. Maybe I'm just too frugal. Maybe this is going to be the answer they give. But why spend money on bathing suits and bra and panties? Like, why don't you just wear, like, why, if it's socially acceptable to wear bathing suits out in public, why don't you just wear those for your bra and panties? Like, why buy fancy bras and panties when you could just buy bathing suits, have like one thing that does it all? I don't get the need to buy both. I feel like women are victims of some marketing pitch that they need both when really they just need one. Anyway, maybe you fellas, if your wives and girlfriends have stuck through this long to hear that long-winded story about these girls with dental floss between their butt cheeks and my old co-worker, maybe they can enlighten us. And if your girlfriend or wife is letting you watch this kind of video and sticking with you for this long into it, as we got another fish here, fellas, you better keep her, because they don't make them like that. So you better take care of her, by gosh. Most women would be like this fish. They'd be flopping around doing everything to get out of watching this video right here. Yeah, me and Daphne, I may, if I get stuff done today, I may take Daphne over there again tonight, just see if there's some more sights to behold. You never know what you're going to see on them walking trails, man, especially around a swimming hole. Old Daphne the dog, I felt like she was happy to see me, but she could have pretended to be a little happier. I think she gets more treats and stuff down at my parents' house, so probably why she likes it better down there. She does have a new collar. It's hot pink. My mom ended up getting her one. I went to the pet store to get a new collar for her, but we never could find one that was that we liked. I like a dog. Again, this is more crap most of you don't care about, but I like a dog collar that buckles like a belt. You know, it's got a latch, like, you know, and the holes to run through. Not them plastic clip ones that you can't ever get adjusted right. And anyway, I went to a couple pet stores, and Daphne had ruined her old collar rolling around in crap. And so, like literal crap, she likes rolling in poop. And so anyway, my mom ended up finding her one at Tractor Supply and got her that. So I told her at some point this week, we'll get stuff done, we'll make a trip up to the pet store. I'll get her a new stuffed baby, since I was a big winner at the tournament over there. So I'll let her reap the rewards of my big victory. That old dog. She's turned into a pretty good dog. It was a rough first year getting her out of that puppy stage. She had me regretting choosing her out of all them dogs at the pound. There were some times I was real close to taking her back to the pound, but I think we've turned the corner now. I think I want to change this Gulp out too. It's kind of, yeah, I'm gonna change it out. I don't know why I feel compelled to change it out, but I just want to. Knock on wood. How far are we into the video and I ain't lost the jig yet? We're 40 something minutes in. Instead of 47? We're 40 something minutes in. I ain't lost the jig yet, y'all. This may be a record. I got me some laid out. I was prepared today. I stuck me a few extra jigs there on my magnet, so we're good and ready. I got my reading glasses with me under my seat here that my channel member Lynn got for me. I had talked about every time I was retying in these ultralight videos, because you know these jig heads are small. That hole right there that you put the line through, it's small. And as I've gotten a little older, I'm embarrassed to say it's harder and harder to see to thread that line through. And so one of my channel members, Lynn, had recently got me a pair of sunglasses that double as reading glasses, and they make things magnified, so I can put those on when I'm having to retie and actually be able to see to thread that line through. So I got them with me too, in the event we do snag up and got to retie. We'll probably have to, this video won't be completely uncut, I guess I should say, because at some point we're going to run out of battery. Probably a couple 2.5 hours in maybe. We're going to have to switch out batteries. So, boy, it looks dark on that screen too. I hope y'all can see that. It's still, the sun is coming up over these trees over here, which is, I ain't complaining about it, because that'll keep it nice and cool out here longer in the morning. But I guess it's making it hard for y'all to see on video. We can't have it all, people. All right, we can't have it all. If you got good lighting, it's gonna be hot. Camera's gonna overheat. You got poor lighting, you can't see nothing. I mean, you gotta pick your poison. I reckon I'd rather be cool and comfortable out here than be able to see anything. I could see just fine. It seems like it's, maybe it's just the camera, but I mean, I feel like it's brighter in real life than it is on camera right now. There's a can of something over there. I don't know what that is. Somebody's brought their hairspray out here with them. Might be some of that old White Rain hairspray from the Family Dollar. Y'all remember that stuff? I remember when I was a kid, my great grandma, she used to keep me some. She had that old White Rain hairspray. Boy, when she'd spray that stuff, it'd about choke you. It probably took about 4 or 5 years off my life breathing that stuff in. I'll probably die young of having breathed that stuff in as a kid. I don't know if that's actually White Rain hairspray or if they even still make that stuff, but boy, that triggered another memory. It was back in my glory days when I was a kid. Probably 1988 was probably my peak. Y'all, Little League I was 6 years old. Little League All-Star. G.I. Joes. Back in them days, you could go to Walmart and get you a G.I. Joe for $1.99. Nowadays, you go to Walmart and try to buy an action figure, it's about $20. I don't know how kids afford it. I think it's just adults buying them today. People like me that's nostalgic, you know. But them was the days. Little League All-Star, G.I. Joes. Wrestling come on like 3 times a week. Back when you'd actually like to watch wrestling. That's back when it was real, you know. You couldn't tell my great grandma, she was big time wrestling fan. You couldn't tell her it wasn't real. She'd sit there. I learned about every cuss word I know listening to her yell at that TV screen. She hated Nature Boy Ric Flair and she hated Jim Cornette with a passion. She'd tell Jim Cornette where she was going to stick that tennis racket. He'd be out there at the Midnight Express, you know, and she loved the rock and roll. Who didn't love the Rock and Roll Express back in the 80s, you know? But them was the days, people. Them was the days. Been downhill ever since. Some people peak young. For me, I think I peaked at about 6 years old. Innocent back then, didn't have a care in the world. G.I. Joes, wrestling figures. I had them big wrestling figures too. You know, I think it was the LJN brand. Had the big ring. I mean, they were like, you know, big wrestling figures. I had Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Hillbilly Jim, Iron Sheik, Jesse the Body Ventura. Who else did I have? I had Captain Lou Albano, Macho Man, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I had a bunch of them. I actually still got them too. They're at my parents' house, tucked away in a closet somewhere. Them was the days. Now I go out here and spend as much time as I can on the water reminiscing about the old days instead of appreciating the current days. That's funny how that works. And probably 20 years from now, I'll be doing something and reminiscing about trips like today, even though on today's trip I'm reminiscing about life 30-something years ago. It's funny how that works. Life was always better in the past for some reason. I don't know why we're like that. We glorify the past and don't appreciate the present. There's probably some psychologist wrote a book about it. Here's another fish. Where you been, fish? I felt like we had a little lull in the action there. My belly growls. Disregard that. whenever you done fish, you can go back home. I ain't trying to get a fin in the finger today. Now quit that. Good gosh, this is out of control, fish. You better act like somebody up in here now. Fish done embarrasses. Whenever these fish get internet, they're gonna be real upset when that fish's family sees how he acted. Someday in the near future, they get internet. That fish's dad's gonna be washing his hind end with the bidet, because they're probably a few years away from getting a bidet too. And he's gonna see his kid acting like that on the YouTube. Be embarrassed. He's gonna be embarrassed that they used toilet paper all them years when they could have been using bidet, and he's gonna be embarrassed how his kid acted. You know what's even, back to the bidet that y'all really don't want to hear stuff about, but what's even more mind-boggling about this situation, so I'm obviously pretty passionate about the bidet. It's probably the best invention ever created on the face of the planet, and there's been a lot of inventions. So for me to rank a bidet number one, that says a lot about how much I appreciate this device. Anyway, was it last year? I can't remember how long I've had the thing now. Anyway, shortly after getting it and realizing how amazing it was, I reached out to the company, Hello Tushy, to see if I could get maybe like an affiliate link or something like that, you know, where I could earn some coin on these things. It's like, you know, I'm telling people about them, not just YouTube crap, but like real life, you know, my friends and stuff. I mean, I'm talking about these bidets with a passion, so I'm obviously, I made some sales. Like, I've talked some people into getting some bidets, and I was like, you know, I need to be getting a proceeds from this, you know, I need to be getting a commission on it. So I reached out, and I went through their whole, on their website, they had this like affiliate application thing. Here's another fish. And it was probably the longest affiliate application that I have ever had to fill out. I mean, it just kept going and going and going. And I went through that whole process. And would you believe I didn't even get an email from them? Not a we're not interested, thanks anyways, screw you, anything. I mean, nothing. And I'm like, I can't believe that. As passionate as I am, they just didn't see my potential. So, anyway, I won't make a dime, but if you need your bidet, go to hellotushy.com. Won't do me a bit of good, but it will do you some good. Won't do this fishing good. He can't use a bidet. I will tell you this. If you go to check out their website, make sure you type in hellotushy.com and not tushy.com. Fish, don't you dare look up tushy.com. It is not a bidet website. You will get an eyeful. I had a little surprise when I went to look for one of their affiliate application things, because tushy.com is not for young. If there's any kids watching, don't go to tushy.com. That's adult only stuff. So anyway, yeah, hellotushy.com is where you need to go, but it won't make me a single penny because they don't see my potential. Very discouraging. The only thing I can figure for these hotels, because the money they would save in toilet paper in the first month would pay for the bidets across their whole chain of hotels, you know. And even like, you know, you remember back when the pandemic first hit, like there was a run on toilet paper. Like you couldn't buy toilet paper anywhere. People was hoarding it. Didn't matter for people who had a bidet. Didn't matter one bit. So, like, you know, there's a need for it out there, but I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, but the hotels. The only thing I can figure as to why they haven't done it is maybe just from an educational standpoint, because there's so many people out there that still Neanderthals and they're still wiping their hind ends with toilet paper. I guess if you had a hotel and you didn't have like signs posted, or you'd have to educate people on how to use the damn thing, I guess. And I guess they figure, you know, educating people would be more expensive than the toilet paper. That's the only way I can figure about it, because it just don't make sense to me of why in 2023 I go spend $100 tonight on a hotel and gotta wipe my hind end like a caveman. Anyway, I'm done talking about wiping hind ends. Y'all done. If I had any viewers left still watching, y'all over it by now. But again, by gosh, if you were out here fishing with me today, if we were in a boat side by side, you would be hearing about how happy I was to get home, to get back to my bidet. That would have been one of the first things we talked about when we got on the boat together, by gosh. But anyway, moving on, different topic. Probably far worse than that one. Hopefully moving on to some fish down through here too. I felt like we were on a good bite there early. Get some better quality bluegill one after another. Now I feel like we're getting them sporadic and small. We'll keep plugging along here. We'll run back into some. I still think we might have a chance that when you got, anytime you got rocks like this, like these bluff walls, I've caught a lot of smallmouth on rocks like this, bluff wall rocks. It seems like them smallmouth hang out in places like this. So we're liable to luck into one of them too. Wouldn't hurt my feelings one iota. I got a new motor I'm going to put on my other kayak too and test out at some point coming up here next few days. There's a company called Bixby, and they make like a little, they call it a jet motor, but it's got a prop in there. But anyway, it's a small motor, goes down in the pedal drive slot of my other kayak, and they're letting me, I'd reached out to them because I was interested in their motor, but I didn't want to buy one without trying it out. And so I reached out to see if they had any pro staff or dealers in my area that would just let me borrow one for a few days to see if I liked it. And anyway, they sent me one of their, I guess one of their demo models or something to try out for a couple weeks. So, of course, I should have figured out how much it was going to cost me to ship the damn thing back to them. It probably cost me $50 to ship it back when I'm done. So I'll end up having to pay for out the hind end to try this thing out. As we finally got another fish here. But I was interested in trying this new motor, not to replace my current motor setup. This fish splashed me in the face with water. Get out of here, fish. Did he splash y'all in the face too? Let me check that camera lens. He got me right on the nose. Well, they splashed you at some point in time. There's more water drops on the lens there. Lord, bear with me again, y'all. Y'all got, when you get splashed in the face, y'all, you gotta let me know. Some of you's got to holler out there or something, because I ain't gonna know about it. But anyway, this motor, I'm interested in it because there's days where the wind is up, or you take like a weekend, for instance, you can have calm weather on the weekend, but if you got a lot of pleasure boat traffic, the water's just real choppy. In my Hobie kayak with the bow mount motor, it's front heavy. So when you go over one wave, you often plow through the next and you get water over the bow. And that leads to getting water inside the hull. So if you get out on a really choppy day, it's not uncommon for me to have a few gallons of water inside my hull when I get back. So what I was interested in this Bixby motor, because it's so lightweight, it goes down in my pedal drive slot. Days that are real choppy or real windy, I could put that motor on instead, have a motorized option to expand my range, and I wouldn't be plowing through those waves. So it wouldn't be a replacement for my current motor setup. It would just kind of be a supplement, if you will, for bad weather day. Basically, like when I go on these trips and stuff, if you got a day where it's just a day you shouldn't be out there with a bow mount, it will hopefully allow me to get on the water with a motor. It's kind of what I was hoping for. But I had some concerns about this motor because it is small, and you know, is it going to have the power to power me at a decent speed to make it worthwhile? You know, I don't know. I got questions about it, and it's kind of a pricey item. I think it's like $1,300. So I wanted to try the dang thing out, but they were kind enough to ship me one to use for a couple weeks to let me try it out. So I'm gonna be using it. Look at this. Look up here. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's a squirrel up here. He's eating him a nut right up there on that branch. I'm ticked off at his kind. While I was gone on my trip, you know, I've talked about this in other videos, the squirrel problem I got at my house. Well, while I was gone, sure enough, them squirrels tore up my bird feeder. My mom had got me a bird feeder, a new one, just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Them damn squirrels, they chewed through the plastic on the bird feeder. Unbelievable. So them squirrels, I've about tried all of the non-harmful interventions that I'm gonna try. It's about time to start blasting them to smithereens, because we're gonna fix that problem one way or the other. But yeah, back to that Bixby motor. I gotta ship that thing back to them in a couple weeks, and I bet you it's probably going to be $50 because they're in their headquarters in California. So to ship that big a package, and it'll have to go ground because the lithium battery. Here's fish. But I bet you it'll cost me $50, which still, I mean, paying $50 to try something for a couple weeks to see if I like it, that's better than if I had bought it and didn't like it and then decided to sell. I'd have lost more than $50. So nice of them to do that for me. Hopefully it'll be worthwhile. There's just days where that water gets choppy and it's just too much with the bow mount. The bow mounts weigh about 35-40 pounds. That's the next invention in the kayak fishing world that needs to take place. They need a bow mount option that will reduce weight, a lighter weight bow mount. Or here's another one for you. This is another invention that needs to happen. They need to have something like take the Old Town Autopilot motor, for instance, where it's kind of in a slot like you know where the pedals would be. That's a great concept. Now that particular motor on those kayaks I had a bad experience with. They were lousy. Had 2 warranty claims in a year. So not the best motor, but if there was another lighter weight option that could go down in a pedal drive slot of a kayak and still give you the GPS functions of spot lock and your course heading and, you know, all those things, that would be great too. But I can't believe that we're this far along in technology and I can't have a bow mount motor that weighs less than 40 pounds. Just don't make sense, but it's got to be coming, right? Like, it has to be. Somebody has to be out there working on that right now. I feel like maybe it's just because it's getting lighter out here, but I feel like the farther we're moving up the river here, the muddier the water's getting. I thought it was pretty clean down there where we were at to start with. I wonder if that's why we wasn't getting bit so good down through there, because the water was cleaner. They're able to see this, you know, any kind of small plastic on a jig head. You know, obviously I'm using Gulp, but you could use whatever. But when you're doing this kind of finesse technique, it typically works better in water with some visibility where they can see it, because you don't have a lot of, you don't have vibration, you don't have a flash, you know. It's they need to be able to see the bait. I mean, I've caught fish in some muddy water with it. You put it in their face, they know it's there, they're gonna eat it. But it's kind of one of them clear water finesse presentations that I feel like that's kind of the environment where it really shines. And this water here, it's definitely a lot muddier than where we were at. But here's another fish. No, okay, there he is. I thought I had a fish, then I thought I was snagged, and I apparently was snagged. But you come out of it, didn't you, fish? You tried to break me off. Nice try. Good effort. Didn't happen. Maybe next time. I still ain't lost a jig yet. That's unbelievable. This has got to be a record for me. We're over an hour into the video, still ain't lost a jig. I may have jinxed it. I lost that fish. I'll have to flip that Gulp around here. Let's see what we can do with this thing. Flip it upside down and get us another fish or two out of it. I had another person the other day asking me about these jig heads. Said he is tearing his Gulp all the time and wanted to know any tips for it. I said, what size hook you use? And he said, oh, that's a number 4. I said, there's your problem. I don't know how many times in these videos I've said the size of jig heads I use, 1/64 ounce, number 8 hook. People don't listen. If you use them bigger hooks, you're going to tear these Gulp a lot quicker. That smaller size hook, I can't tell you how critical it is to be able to maximize the number of fish that you're going to get on these Gulp before they tear. And you're just going to catch more fish in general. Like if you're using a number 4 size hook, some of these bluegill that we've caught, they ain't getting that hook in their mouth. Now, you may not want to catch, you know, them small bluegill too. I mean, that's personal preference and that's fine. But if you're wanting to weed out really small bluegill, really small fish, I wouldn't even use the 1-inch Gulp. I'd go up to the 2.5 inch or 3 inch size, and then you could use the bigger hook and not tear them as frequently. Like when I'm just specifically targeting bass, I've fished some bass tournaments with this technique, but I'll use a 3-inch Gulp and I'll use a little bit bigger jig head. I'll use a 1/32 ounce size with a number 2 size hook, and that'll help you weed out. That'll do a couple things. One, it allows you to fish a little deeper, because if I'm specifically targeting bass, I'm going to let that jig fall down farther on these bluff walls and stuff. So that's number 1. But number 2, the number 2 size hook, you pretty much eliminated all but the biggest bluegill. They'll peck at it. You'll feel like machine gun taps as that bigger Gulp and jig head, I mean, as it falls, you'll be all the way down through there, but they won't be able to eat it. So, but yeah, sure enough, I was just talking about it in one of these recent ultralight videos about how people all the time was asking me about hook size, even though I share it every daggone video, and lo and behold, I got asked again the other day. Like, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but that number 8 size hook, it works well for me. I can usually get, most of the time, I don't know, 10 fish probably on average per gulp. But if you go up to a bigger size hook, you're gonna get 3, 4 maybe. So, if that, you know, before they tear. I feel like, man, I thought we were just gonna, once we got on them there first thing, I thought, man, we're just gonna catch them all the way down through here. But we've kind of got on to a dead stretch here. We may circle back and just go through that area again. So we did get a couple. They were small largemouth, but they were clearly in there too. Ain't much happening up here, just an occasional bluegill, and not very good quality with the ones we're getting. We'll see what's up around these trees coming up here. There's one tree that's sticking out up here, and it looks like it runs out in the water pretty good way. So there's one branch obviously sticking up, but I see the beginning of that tree over there, so there may be some more branches underwater. May have some fish on them. We may find us a branch we can get snagged in, possibly, because we're too far into this video without getting a snag. And this fish, they keep flopping in the floor instead of flopping out. What the heck's wrong with you, fish? Don't you want to go home? Like Happy Gilmore, don't you want to go home? Daggone fish. That is your home. Go back home. Oh, I tell you, man, I glance at this camera and the lighting is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I hope it's not that bad on video. It's more than bright enough for me out here, but you know, it's funny. Sometimes when I'm filming in low light situations, I feel like the camera makes it look brighter than it actually is. But in a situation like today, where I feel like we actually have some light, and I feel like the camera's making it look darker than it actually is. Should be about time to, here's another fish. Oh, he let it go. It should be about time for GoPro's yearly camera update that's the exact same as every other camera they've ever come out with. It's going to overheat and be overpriced and have some glitches. But it should be about time for the new model to come out. DJI just come out with their new camera here recently, and I looked at it, but I tried that DJI Action 3 camera last year and had nothing but issues with it, so I'm a little hesitant to try their new model. You know what I wish would happen, and again, most of you don't give a crap about this, but I'm gonna say it anyway as we reel in another fish. I wish that DJI and GoPro, I wish one of them would buy the other. I don't care who buys who, but I wish they would combine companies somehow. That way you could get the best of both technologies, because GoPro's picture quality is by far the best in the action camera world. Like, it's tough to beat the picture quality of GoPro, and their app is real good. Everything else about GoPro sucks. Everything. Now DJI, the technology's better. Like you can run a DJI camera indefinitely, it will not overheat. The bases for the camera, those magnetic bases, they're awesome. They are amazing. Way better than the GoPro thumb screw garbage. But that's the only thing good about the DJI. Like the picture quality isn't there like it is with GoPro. So like if you could combine those two camera technologies, what an amazing world we would be able to live in. This bluegill says it's the first time he's ever been on video. He's probably got some pictures of him down there though. Probably got an old Polaroid camera. You remember them Polaroids? I had one of them too when I was a teenager. You would, for you kids watching don't know what the hell a Polaroid camera is because you're all too young to know anything, you'd take a camera and it'd go cha-chee, and it would spit out a picture, and you'd wave it around in the air, and 30 seconds later you'd have a very poor picture quality picture. Those were the days. Now these kids, they're walking around with their smartphones with 156 megapixel cameras that can do 360 videos. These kids today, they don't know what we grew up with. They don't know how good they got it. I'm real tempted, y'all, to turn around and go back through them areas where we were getting the better quality fish there. So I mean, we're still getting bit. I got another one. Oh, that one launched it back at me. Now I've got it in my leg. There we go. I mean, we're getting bit all the way down through here, but quality has really went downhill the farther we've gotten away from where the Emory dumps into the clinch. We may end up turning around here in a minute. One of y'all about to talk me into it. I know you are. God, one of them poop on my foot there too. Nasty old fish. I had a catfish poop on me on tournament day in North Carolina, and it was one of the biggest craps that could have ever been taken by a fish this size. I mean, it was everywhere, all over the kayak. It was all down my leg, and it was the first fish I caught of the day. I was wearing crap the rest of the day. Like if you're gonna get crapped on, it was the same way back in, when I was working the real job there as a nurse. Like if somebody's gonna poop on you during your shift, it's gonna happen at the very beginning. Like you're gonna have a full 12 hours of walking around wearing poop without fail. Oh, that's a fish. That one tricked me. You tricked me, fish. It kind of acted like I was in a small branch, the way it kind of pulled back there a second, and then it finally took off. Another smaller bluegill, though. I thought somebody's coming up behind me there. Thought the boogeyman had me. I don't know what I was imagining. But we ain't had no 8+ inchers out here this morning. Had some better quality there at the beginning, but let's see what this one is. That's a little better. We've been looking for your kind here, bluegill. Oh. Well, we was looking for him. He said he wasn't looking for us. We've caught a bunch of fish out here, though. I don't know how many we're at now. If that one person that does the stats on these videos is watching, I'm sure they'll let us know, but it's been a bunch now. We've had a lot of action. That's what I wanted to get today. Just get out on the water, get out here early. It's a weekday when I'm filming this. Just have the water to myself, catch a buttload of fish, have a good time. Just one fishing rod, some jig heads, some Gulp, basic kayak setup. Really, you just don't need a lot. I mean, you can have a good time fishing with minimal gear. You know, the Bass Pro Shops of the world, the Cabela's, you know, hell, all them Bass Pro guys, you know, Bass Masters, whatever, they'll all have you believing that you need 8 tackle boxes full of gear. You need a chatterbait in 14 different sizes and 52 different colors, but in reality, it don't take that much gear to catch a fish. You can keep things very simple, very basic. I mean, hell, even catfishing. When I won that tournament there on Kerr Lake, all my fish came on 2 rods. I was fishing 3 rods most of the day. I was dragging 2 and running 1 bait under a balloon behind me, but the balloon bait never got hit, so you know, it's like whatever. I didn't even need it. But all my fish, 2 rods. Got some big fish, enough to win a tournament. It's like, why the hell are we, as catfishermen, you know, when you can go out and, oh my goodness, we've done it again. We've lost more fish down in the kayak today. But you know, you see all these catfish, especially the guys in the boats that have a bunch of room, you know, they've got space and they're running 10, 12 rods in their damn boats. Everybody up there in the kayak catfishing tournament, with the exception of me, I think, was running planer boards, so they're all running 4, 6, 8 rods in the tournament. And it's like, you know, I feel like if you're in the right area where the fish are at, you don't need 8 rods. You don't need 8 baits out, because they're going to find the 2 or 3 baits that you're running. You know, anything else is just extra. I fish 4 rods in the kayak a lot, which is, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's overkill. Because if you notice, I mean, especially my regular viewers that's watched a lot of videos, y'all can back me up on this. Even on the days where I'm on a good bite, most of my action is coming on the same 1 or 2 rods. You know, they're going to be keyed into a certain type of bait or certain cut of bait, and that's where you're going to get the bulk of your action out, almost without fail. The only advantage to running those multiple rods, like for me 4 rods in the kayak, the only real advantage to that is the days where you're going through schools of fish and you have 3 and 4 rods all go down at once. Now that's fun. That's a good time. You obviously can't get that kind of excitement if you don't have 4 rods out. But as far as just going out and having fun, having a productive trip, you really don't need a bunch of rods and a bunch of baits out. It's just not necessary. We do it because everybody else does it. and then somebody has to one up the next person and one up the next person, and before you know it, you got a boat with 25 rod holders and they're running 10 to 12 rods at all times and pulling planer boards, you know, 300-yard spread across the channel. And I hate planer board fishing. It's just not fun. To me, planer boards, it's more of a search tool. I think it's, you know, you're going to find more fish doing that, but again, if you know where the fish are at, if you're in the right area, you don't need them. I just think planer board, it's a good tool for fishing guides, because they got to go out and catch numbers of fish for, you know, make sure they're putting on as many as possible for their clients. And it's a good tool for bad YouTubers to use, because they can ensure that they're going to catch some fish on video and get some content and stuff. But a fisherman that's worth a damn don't need no planer boards, in my opinion. I want to have fun when I go out catching fish, and I just think planer boards is the least fun way to catch a fish. So it ain't for me. I've done it. I've used them. I've got some planer boards at the house. But I gave it the college try, used them. I'm like, every time I've used them, I'm like, this sucks. Even when I'm catching fish with them, I'm like, this is, like, if I gotta do this to catch a fish, I just don't need to catch fish. So anyway, that's my rant on planer boards. I think I'm about ready to turn around, y'all. Would y'all bear with me if I turned around and made a run back downstream? I guess we could fish our way back down. I'd rather just make a run down there though and start kind of near that point again before we get too much later in the morning here. Because the bluegill we're getting here, the bites and stuff, they're just not as frequent, not as big. The further we've gotten down through here, I'm going to, y'all. I don't know if y'all gonna bear with me or not. Fast forward ahead, why don't you? Just skip ahead here for probably 2 minutes. It's gonna take me to get down here, y'all. There's a bunch of debris here in the water this morning. But yeah, this area out here, again, I put in at that ramp across the channel there. That's on the clinch side, and the Emory goes back up in here, and the clinch is here to the left, goes up that way. And so I just come over right across from the boat ramp and started fishing. And this style of fishing there, the ultralight rod and the Gulp, I mean, you catch fish everywhere with it. I mean, even over there in North Carolina, like I mentioned, I was struggling to get bait. Like, I was having a hard time, and it wasn't getting bites. I was getting a ton of bites. I just couldn't find any good quality. Like, I was catching bluegill, but they were 3-4 inches. I was catching a ton of white perch, 3-4 inches. Couldn't get the better quality, and just couldn't, for whatever reason, just couldn't find any trees or brush or anything out there that was holding fish. I just knew I was going to come across a brush pile somewhere. I got something hanging on my eyelashes, you know. It's always something when you film it. But as I moved along, because I was catching my catfish over there shallow, you know, 20 feet and less, and I'm like, there's gotta be somebody has sunk some brush piles out here. Nope, I never come across anything. I just pulled along. I was dragging baits, and I did. I mean, there were times I had to go back and get I'd be snagged on something. I'd have to go back and get it, pop it free, but I did not lose one single rig all week long out there. And I fished both the North Carolina and Virginia side of Kerr Lake, so I don't know. But this technique, I mean, I was catching fish over there with it. Just couldn't get anything of any good quality outside of that first day, where I just pretty much got lucky. And boy, I got fooled. I just knew bait was going to be so easy over there. But I rolled up on that dock, and it was stacked. Had a bunch of crappie on it, a better quality bluegill. If you didn't watch that video, the first video from my Kerr Lake trip, same situation. I'm throwing the Gulp, reeling in a smaller bluegill. I had 2 bass. It may have been the same bass, but it was 2 separate instances. That bass come up and ate the bluegill, took it down on videos. That's pretty cool. Love it when that happens. It was probably, both of them were probably in that 3 to 4 pound range. It could have been the same one, truth be told, but you know, we'll never know. But I was like, man, what I wouldn't have give for that bass to have just eat that bluegill and got it wedged in its mouth where I could get him in or something, or at least get some jumps out of him, you know. That would have been cool. But But yeah, y'all, we're gonna make a little run down here for those of you that are bearing with me, and get back down here where we started catching them fish at earlier and hit it again. Normally on these ultralight trips, I just start and I keep going and just go on and on and on until I'm done fishing, but I can see that it's like the water's clearing up down through here. It's much dingier, muddier the farther we were getting up through there. So maybe that's why we were getting bit better down here. I don't know. Either way, we were getting bit better down in through here. And so I want to hit it again, by gosh. And since I'm operating the boat today, whether you fishing with me out here or not, this is what we doing, by gosh. Decisions made. So for anybody who's stuck around, we're about to get started again. I think it was about right in here we started, because we wasn't getting bit down there right off the point. We wasn't hooking up. It was small fish. It was right in here somewhere where we started getting the better quality. So all right, we'll put the camera back in the chest here. Let's just go ahead and switch out our Gulp too. Get a fresh one on there, full of juice. Old Gulp catches fish for me everywhere. Switch that out. Don't let me forget to get a thumbnail for this video before we leave today, y'all. I gotta do that too. Ain't nothing worse than getting home and realizing, well, crap, I forgot to get a thumbnail for the video. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. It's like, what good is it to get a video if you ain't got a thumbnail that people's gonna click on? There's a bridge up here on the clinch side up to the left. I'll probably run up there and do a thumbnail for this thing. For some reason, here's a fun fact for you, for all those of you out there watching that maybe have YouTube channel. For some reason, bridges in the backgrounds of your thumbnails, those videos tend to do better. Don't know why, but they do. So if you got a bridge close to where you're fishing, you might want to incorporate that in. Little YouTube pro tip there for you. Oh, now that feels better. Well, he ain't that much. Boy, I mean, he nailed it, buddy. I reckon that is better than what we've been getting down there toward where we finished up. I may go ahead and throw him in the cooler too. I was going to keep just a few today, so we'll start keeping a few now. We'll keep a few bluegill, and I'm gonna get after the catfish tomorrow here locally. See what's going on. We're into August now. That's a good one right there, man. That's a good one, buddy. Come on down, bluegill. You want to be fed to a catfish tomorrow? He says, heck no, he don't. Let's throw this one on the board here. We ain't measured hardly anything today. No, that in there, he's probably in that 7.5 inch range, I guess. Nice, so that's better quality than what we was getting down on the farther we got down through here. Let's throw him in that box there too. Seems like the current's a little more here too. I think we're moving along a little quicker. They got to be moving water down the clinch to be current going up the Emory. Yeah, I'm gonna try to catch some cats tomorrow. We should be at this point done with the spawn at this. Oh goodness gracious, I dropped another one down here, and this one too landed in the kayak instead of out. So I expect the fishing to get better from here on out through the fall on the catfish. Well, I got another one here. I lost him. Let me let that sink back down. I think we had a streak going, 3 or 4 fish. Let me just work right back over here again. So there was some better quality bluegill right there, and we got them there when we come through it the first time, and got some better quality. I don't know what it is about that spot that they like, but there's something there. I say that, and we probably won't catch another one off of it. I probably done jinxed it for us. Somebody's over there mowing their yard. I hear them down there behind me. I don't know, it's so dang wet out right now. I don't know how they can mow. We're not going to catch another fish right here. After I built it up saying that, we're not going to catch another one. I ruined it. Blame it on me. I'm still going to make another cast or two. This is unbelievable. Where did they go? Danged old fish. There was one pop right there, right behind where I cast it. I know they're over there. Well, they said poo-poo on us. They ain't doing this no more. We got us a daggone contract dispute happening here. That's what we got. They said checks are bouncing. They ain't biting again till they cash. This one's here. He said he would. He crossed the picket line. He's went over the picket line and into the coolers where he's going. I'm just gonna keep 1 or 2 more probably. How many I got in there now? Can't see. Can't see how many I got in there. We'll just keep a couple more maybe. I don't need that many. I'm not optimistic about doing too well on them. This one feels good. Yeah, this one feels real good right here, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Nice right here. Nice, folks. Boy, listen, look at the colors on it. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that. Look at that right there, y'all. I don't know if that's crap or puke, but he got it all over my thumb too. It's on my thumb and my leg. You know, fish, I was gonna probably let you go, but you done ruined it, buddy. You done it to yourself. Look at this mess, man. Crapped on my hand. What is that? That's some kind of bug or something. I think he's puked that up on me. Let me back up here. Hold on, folks. I gotta give myself a quick bath here. Dadgummit. Oh. Probably half digested mayflies or something. Oh. Daggone fish. Nasty old thing. These fish, buddy, they've learned some bad habits from them catfish, ain't they? He didn't get any of that stuff on the camera lens. No, he didn't. Thankfully, he didn't puke on y'all. Goodness gracious, that'd been bad if he had barfed right in your face there on that camera lens. Now I got my line wrapped around my jig wrapped around my line here. We're in bad shape. Things have went from bad to worse here. Bear with me. Am I making it worse here? Hell far, I was making it worse. I'm wrapping it around even more. Goodness gracious. Raw and uncut, people. You can't hide this on the raw and uncut. We're making progress now. We're going the right direction with it. There it is. All right. We in the game again here now. Dang old fish. He said he'll show me. Then tore up our gulp too. Let's fix it back and we're gonna run down there. Yeah, that current, man, it's moving us down through here. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look at the generation schedule before I come out today. I honestly didn't really care, but go back over here. That fish there, buddy, he was definitely coming with us. You can't puke all over me and expect that I ain't going to use you for bait. It's happening. I may not catch diddly doo-doo with him, but we'll try anyway. It's funny how bodies of water fish different, you know. Like out here where I fish and stuff, I just don't do good on bluegill typically. Like I just don't. You know, I catch numbers of fish on bluegill. I'll occasionally get a better quality fish on it, but it's just not a big fish bait for me where I fish here at home. But yet you go to, over there at Kerr Lake, I mean, catching big fish, great quality catfish on bluegill. It's just every body of water fishes differently, you know. Different baits perform better different places. But you know, out here, the places I fish have skipjack, and Kerr Lake over there, or Carr Lake as the locals that don't know how to pronounce words say it, they don't have skipjack over there. So that could be part of the fact. They got shad, white perch, crappie, bluegill, you know, stuff like that, but no skipjack. So I don't know if that plays a factor in it at all, but skipjack's definitely the better bait here. Skipjack and white bass, which I haven't seen any of out here today. I ain't seen nothing jumping. I have caught them here in the past, but I couldn't tell you a good time to come to this area and catch them, because I just don't fish down here very often. I should. It's a nice ramp, a good area, but I just, for whatever reason, 2 or 3 times a year. Alright, I think we're going to start making our way back down here now. I think we've about got all the fish we're going to catch off this little area. Well, I'll say that, and here's another one. No! I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was a bluegill or could have been a smaller bass, possibly. I saw his part of his head come up. This one here, I think, is bluegill. A small bluegill. Good news for you, bluegill. You get to go home. You do. You happy about it? He says he don't care. He don't even like being home. He said he bit my bait, tried to get away from home. He was trying to run away. Lord, I cast into the tree. I pulled it out. I wrapped my line plumb around my rod tip. We got something going on over here beside us. I don't know if it's weed eater man or leaf blower man. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully that ain't annoying y'all as much as it is me. I had hoped to come out and have peace and quiet for the whole trip. Most of the time you get out here, weekday mornings, it's pretty quiet where I fish. It ain't till the afternoons that the pleasure boaters and all that comes out. But the leaf blower man over there, he's getting an early start on the job, buddy. Dedication. He said he's got stuff to do, no time to waste. I gotta get after it and I get home today too, though. I gotta get my affairs back in order. Y'all know how it is. You go on a trip, you go on a week. You know, the yard, it don't stop growing. Storms come through, limbs come down. You know, the world keeps turning just because you go on vacation. The rest of the world don't stop. All right, I think we're gonna start making our way back down here again. This whole stretch though, when we first come through, there was something right over there. This whole stretch through here, the first time was pretty good, so. Well, there's still something jumping. I'm gonna make a cast over there. I see them coming plumb up out of the water. I don't know if I can cast. Yeah, I got it over there. I got him too, by gosh. Just like that, I got him. Or if that's that same one that was jumping over there. That's a nice size bluegill too. Was you the one I saw jumping? He says maybe. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. What do you say we throw over there again? I don't think I got that cast where I got bit anyway. That's 2 in a row off that spot. I may have to, we're going to sneak back over there, y'all. We're going to have to slide back down. Them fish wanting to bite over there, I'm willing to accommodate. That's 2 in a row off that area where them fish were splashing. Let's just sneak back over a second. I think 2 or 3 fish in a row is about the longest streak we've had today thus far. If I was a better fisherman, some of these areas we'd have come down through here, we'd have probably had 10 or 15. It seems like I've lost about as many fish as we've caught. Tried to swing back over here. Now I feel like I got a little too close. Didn't land that cast where I wanted it to either. Dadgummit, I broke our streak just like that. Let's see if I can land this cast where the fish were splashing. I was a little to the right, but maybe the current will take it where it needs to go. Yep, we got him. Fishy. Come on down, fish. We're starting a new streak with you, by gosh. There's one. There was another splashing right there. They chasing something right there in that area. Come on, fish. Don't leave me hanging like this. We're trying to start a streak. These fish do not give one crap about what we want. Rude fish. You know what? I didn't want to start a streak with that last fish. I was just trying to be nice to him, that was all. I didn't really want to. I wanted to start a streak with this one. That's what I wanted to do. You were the one, fish. You were the one that I was wanting to start a streak with. You better feel honored too. You don't feel nothing but a sore lip. All right, that's one. Oh, that one hit me. Got him. Here's two. Oh! I give up. I botched it, y'all. We're giving up on the streak. Every time I talk about a streak, I jinx the streak before it even gets going. Every time, without fail. Now I'm in a tree over there. Oh, okay, we got it back. Did you see that? I knocked some mayflies out of that tree. I bet you we catch a fish on this cast. I bet you we do, by gosh. Yep, there he is. So I get myself repositioned. We knocked the mayflies out of that tree. We got them feeding again. Little bait in the spot right there, wasn't we? I bet you that fish puked up on us there earlier. I bet you he was. It looked like part of a mayfly in him, so I bet that's what that was. I may need to start purposely casting in these trees, because you know, an experienced professional caster like me, I would never accidentally cast into a tree. So I may have to start purposely casting into them to shake them mayflies down, help our cause. You know, amateur casters like y'all, if you was out here with me in a boat or something, y'all'd be stuck in them trees all daggone day, but not me. I never get in a tree. Never. This fish here, though, this fish is begging me to get hung in a tree. Shake his breakfast down there for him. Oh! He said he was going to get back over there to it too before all his friends gobbled him up. Did you see that? That was another experienced cast. I grazed them leaves but didn't get in them. Talent, folks. You can't hide it. When you got it, you got it. I ain't got no fish this time though. See if we can do that again. You think I can land on that branch without getting hung in it? Missed it. Maybe I ain't quite as good a caster as what I built myself up to in that previous those previous comments. I was trying to talk myself up real big. Y'all know I'm lying. I'm a terrible caster. I get snagged in trees all the time. This bluegill, he gonna get snagged in that cooler if he don't quit. I'm gonna let him go though. I don't think I need to keep any more bluegill. I think I'm done keeping them today unless we find something different. Oh, I missed it again. Got one though. I thought I'd went over that branch, but I didn't. But I went right into this fish's mouth. They're over there under that tree. They're waiting for the mayflies to drop. That's what's holding them over there. It ain't something that they're necessarily holding on to under the water. It's what's above the water that's keeping them right there in that spot. Come on, fishy. Oh, I'm in that tree this time. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. Let me just shake it a little bit. Come on, fishy. Eat that thing. Well, Let's try throwing under the tree this time. See, when that gulp, that light jig head, when it hits and it sinks down real slow. It's kind of back and forth. You got them fish over there, they're looking up, you know, waiting on stuff to fall out that tree. So when that gulp hits and it just slowly falls down, they're on it. If they're there and they see it, they're on it. I'm gonna try to cast up in it. I don't want to loop around that branch, but let's see what we can do here. Okay, good, I got out of it. I see them. Do you see them flying around there? Oh, what happened here? Come on, jig, we gotta get, oh man, look what I've done. I did all that and I got my line all messed up, y'all. How did I do that? How the heck did I do that? We need to cast back over there right quick. We're missing our chance. I don't know what I've done. Lord, I done ruined it. I done ruined my chance here, folks. We may have to, I don't even know what I've done here. We're gonna have to end up, I'm gonna have to cut that. I'm gonna have to cut that daggone thing and start over. Here's our first retie of the day. I screwed that up. Shook them dang mayflies out. Messed up my line in the process. Technically we didn't get snagged and lose the jig, but we still got to retie. Y'all bear with me, fast forward. Either way, I got to fix my line up here. I don't even know how I've got all that mess tangled up on there. Like, how did I screw that up that bad? I don't even know how it's happened. It's around my rod tip. I wonder if that jig didn't like loop through my line or something on the way back through or something. Heck if I know. What a disaster. This is where I need to be editing. This just need to be edited out right here. We were all in UNCUT, by gosh. Again, if you was out here in the boat with me, we'd be having to pull off to the side for 5 damn minutes while I figure this mess out. Okay, there it come. There it come. We're back in the game. We're in business. Okay. Yep. Yeah, alright. That's what I get for trying to shake some daggone mayflies out. I think I need to, let's just do it all. Let's change that gulp out too while we're at it. Let's see if I can do this without the reading glasses, since that took up so much time. I'll have to find my reading glasses under the seat. Oh, I got it first time right there. You know, the old saying, better to be lucky than good. Let's get this tied back on right quick and get us another gulp on there. I don't know how I got that line all looped up like that. That jig, when it popped back, it must have went through like between the gap between my rod and the line. Like, that's where it must have went through at. I couldn't do that again if I tried. I had a mayfly right there on my foot. That's what they're eating right there. This right here. See that? The mayflies. I don't know why they call them mayflies when it's August and they flying around, but that's what they are. Let's get some. Oh Lord, I got one on my hat there, y'all. And a mayfly. I don't know why he wouldn't want to be on that hat. It's a damn good looking hat. You can get those at catfishsumo.com, by the way. Kayak catfish hats. Code word kayak, save you 10% on your order. That mayfly, he's helping me do my job. He's helping me plug Daniel's sight there. Might help me sell a hat. Alright, we're about to get back in the game here finally. Dadgummit. I just knew I was going to shake them mayflies out of that tree, make a cast in there, and just start whacking them. And something with that plan went terribly wrong. Okay. Let's see what we can get done over here now. Let's see what we can get done now, folks. Nothing on that cast. That's what we're getting done. I see them daggone things under that branch right there. Now, if I was a better caster, I could knock out 6 or 8 of them, knock them loose. I kind of want to try it, but I don't want to get snagged. If I went over there and got on top of them, I could shake that branch by hand, but I'm afraid I'd spook the fish by getting right on top of them. Listen here, he's got spooked too. He's swimming 100 miles an hour trying to get away from me, but no matter how fast you swim, fish, you got a hook in the jaw, you ain't going nowhere. Let's do that. Let's just see what happens. If we spook them fish, we spook them. But I'm gonna get over here and shake this branch one time. We may be covered in mayflies when this is over with. This may be a stupid idea. Why don't y'all talk me out of this right quick? But they clearly, I mean, they're clearly eating these mayflies. That's what they want, so let's just give them what they want. Put this rod over here for a second, maybe. Oh, slide plumb into the tree now. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Watch this. Let me take the camera here, y'all. Okay, now let's get out of here. We get covered in spiders and stuff. We knocked a few of them down there in the water. I bet you we spooked all them dang fish. That was a dumb idea. We probably spooked them all. Now I got a gulp in this leaf over here. What a dumb idea y'all let me talk myself into. That's dumb. We're gonna sit right here though and drop that jig down right quick. You gotta have a little fun, folks. You don't know till you do stuff. We're on an adventure out here today. Just goofing off, having a good time. We could probably put some of them mayflies, get them on a hook and put them down. I've spooked all them fish when I come over here. Dadgummit. Well, we gave it the college try. We can say we shook the branch today, by gosh. We done it. Shook the branch of the money tree, but the money didn't fall out. You know what I think's happening? They're hitting the surface over here behind me. I wonder now, we shook them mayflies out, the current's going this way. I bet you them mayflies that we shook down are probably right there now. They've drifted down and those fish are on them right here. Oh, that one hit me. There, oh, gosh dang it, I missed 2 right there. Yeah, I bet you that's what happened. We spooked them other fish, but the mayflies started drifting. Well, maybe that did work out after all. Worked out for this fish anyway, didn't it? You thought you was getting you another free meal. Fish, get on there. I gotta catch your friend too. Yeah, they coming up popping right there. Fish right there. Come on over here. That's a little better one. A little butterball bluegill. Say hi and bye to people. He's going back. We gotta get on his friends over here. Got another one too. Come on down, fish. You're the third one in a row. Using the mayflies to stimulate y'all. You don't even see that I was manipulating you, fish. That's true manipulation, when what you're manipulating don't know that they're getting manipulated. That was a lot of manipulated in one sentence. I feel like I got manipulated into saying manipulated 42 times in one sentence as we hooked fish number 4 in a row. Yeah, them. Oh, that's a better one there now. That's a nice bluegill, buddy. Nice bluegill. Hello there, kind sir. He says hello, everyone. Happy to be here. Can we go for 5? Can we go 5 for 5? We've got him on the line. Can we land him? It's a small one. Don't pop off. 5 for 5. Like when you go to Crystals, you get the pick 5. It used to be pick 5 for $5. Or $5.55, I think it was. But they ain't anymore. Now it's $6 or something. Sometimes I go by there and I get me some chili cheese pups. That fish right there. He's never had a chili cheese pup, but I guarantee his arteries probably look better than mine. Well, something hit me right away right there. What's that? That's a skipjack. Speaking of skipjack, little old thing though. I'm gonna let that one go. That's too small to even use as bait. Your fish number 6 though, skipjack. Way to be a part of the streak there. Way to be a team player. Get out of here. Go get big so I can use you for bait someday. I told you I've caught skipjack here before. I was prepared today coming out here. I just ain't really seen any big ones. I ain't seen nothing coming up swiping at my bait before that one. I ain't seen any surface activity at all. So there's at least a little one in here though. Got a 6 in a row. Trying for 7 here. Made a fairly bad cast. Didn't get it as far over there to the shoreline as I wanted, and I think it's going to cost us our streak. Well, crap. We blew it at 6 fish, y'all. That one's more where I wanted the other cast. Yep. I get the cast where it needs to be, we catch a fish. How about, imagine that. That's how that works. This fish says, well, we'll just start a new streak right here. We're on them. We're onions, fish. We exposed you with the mayflies, and now we know exactly where the bulk of you are at. It's fun with like this, y'all. I mean, seriously, it's when you're making casts and you're getting a fish on just about every one. I mean, this is fun. It really is. And these bluegill, I know we haven't got any you know, that's any big ones really big, that's like 8 inches or bigger. But you don't need fish that are 8+ inches to have a good time. These bluegill that are 5 and 6 inches, they'll give you a battle on this ultralight rod and 2-pound line. I'm having fun anyway. I hope y'all are. I'd have more fun if it mayfly get off my dang neck. Broke her streak again on that one. Yeah, I could do this style of fishing all the time. This is just, it's fun, it's productive, it's simple. I don't think this is a bluegill. If it is, it's a dang good one. What is this? It is a bluegill, and it is a dang good one. Now that right there is a battle on this tackle, folks. And I hooked him right there in the nose. He wasn't coming free. That would have been one of them. If I was still keeping fish today, he'd have been kept. But lucky for him, I ain't. Am I over that branch? No, I think I'm good. I'll tell you something else too about this pedal kayak and this style of fishing. I think I would rather have, for doing this style of fishing, I'd rather have pedals than the remote and motor are there with the GPS and spot lock and all that. Because when you're trying to get repositioned with the motor, you're on that remote all the time. Takes away from your fishing. With this pedal kayak, I can sit here and make minor adjustments with my feet as needed to kind of keep myself on the bite here. I feel like it's more efficient. I was thinking about that again when I was over there in North Carolina on that dock and the wind was blowing. The wind kept spinning me around every which way. I was having to turn around, try to fish behind me, and if I come off spot lock, I was getting blown up against the dock and all that. And I was like, man, if I had my pedal kayak, I could just sit there and work my feet. If I only did this style of fishing, this right here, I mean, this would be the only kayak I have. I wouldn't fool with motors, electronics, nothing. I only do that other stuff, my other kayak, just because of the catfish. That's the only reason I have it. Spot lock is nice when you anchor and when you're trying to replace anchoring down, you know, especially if you're fishing somewhere real deep. Being able to spot lock instead of having to drop 100 foot of anchor line. What is that? What the hell is that? Y'all hear that? Oh, they doing some drill. I was like, what the hell is going on? We got water on the lens too. Y'all have got to tell me when y'all get splashed in the face now. Y'all, that's a steam plant right over there. For those of you geography majors out there, I guess they doing some drill this morning. Some corporate executive decided it's drill day. He's got to try to justify his existence there at that company. So he had to send an email saying we're going to run a drill and disrupt our video. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. You know how management is. It's like that every damn job on the planet. It's like that. They got some corporate executive somewhere, some administrator that has no real purpose. All they do is sit around every day trying to think up ways to justify their position to the people above them to keep their jobs. And what happens is they end up coming up with these stupid ideas that trickle their way down to people like you and me, and we have to waste our day and our time and energy doing stuff that's don't make a bit of difference for how the workplace is ran. Y'all know how it is. Don't tell me you don't, unless you are one of them corporate people. And if you are one of them corporate executive people, I'd be willing to bet you 3 dimes and a nickel that you watching my video right now while you at work, because you ain't got shit else to do except write emails. That'd be my guess. I probably ain't got none of them corporate people watching these videos though. Them corporate people, they go on ski and snowboard vacations. They don't go fishing. And if they do go fishing, it's probably down there in the ocean on some chartered fishing trip, not on a kayak with an ultralight rod. Here we go again with another drill. False alarm on that one. I was fishing one day down at somewhere near Watts Bar Dam and their nuclear reactor, and they had a tornado siren going off, and I guess it was a drill that day because I didn't get radiated. But there was a minute there with that tornado siren going off where I was like, man, I bet if this is real, I'm toast. They ought to warn the citizens and stuff that live around there if they're going to do a drill, instead of freaking them out. Because here's the thing. If you run in them drills and the people that live in the area don't know it's a drill, well, how are they supposed to know to make a run for it? Which I don't know. If one of these nuclear reactors melted down at one of these steam plants and stuff, I don't think you could make a run for it. I think you'd just be toast. But still, that day I was out there fishing. I was like, man, if this is real, I'm in trouble. But you didn't know, there wasn't no nothing. At least with this crap over here, that some guy's on a loudspeaker saying it's a drill. Yeah, y'all over here at the steam plant today, some corporate executive is justifying his existence, or her existence. They've sent an email to 12 different department heads to say we're running a drill today. They're walking around with a hard hat and they're timing people to see if they're at various stations they're supposed to be. I guarantee you it's probably a 6-figure a year job for them to do that too. Meanwhile, the people doing the real work over there ain't making crap for pay. That's how it always works. Every one of these jobs, every job I've ever had, it's been like that. You have even in the hospital world, I was working ER, you'd have the ER director, then you'd have 4 or 5 assistant directors, then you'd have a clinical educator, you'd have a corporate compliance person. It's like, why the hell do you need? And then of course they got to have meetings. They got to have their meetings to discuss crap that they're doing that the next person ain't doing. So when budget cuts come and they got to eliminate some positions, that theirs don't get eliminated. When in reality 1 or 2 people could have done all 6 of those jobs. But when staff and budget cuts come, it ain't those people that usually get cut. It's the people that actually do the work around the building. Those are the ones that get cut, or their hours get cut, or stuff like that. It ain't never them corporate people in the suits and high heels. I don't know why I'm venting and ranting on that crap, and I ain't even in that world anymore. But I know a lot of y'all out there watching are, so I'll speak on your behalf, doggone it. I'll say what you can't say. As you know, I'm speaking the truth. I need to be speaking to some more fish here. I feel like we've had a little lull in the action. Don't know where they went all of a sudden. I ain't seeing nothing splashing around. We need to go up there and shake a branch again, I reckon. We got them biting pretty good after that. I have to believe we wasn't catching them right there where I shook it. I probably spooked them fish, but as them mayflies drifted down that we had knocked down on the water, we had a pretty good bite going after that for a few minutes. I'm gonna let y'all shake the branch on the next one though. There's all kinds of bugs and spiders up in there. We'll keep making our way down through here again. Fish our way back down, and again, I'm having a good time out here today. Been fun for me. Anytime I can reel in a fish, I'm usually having a good time, unless it's a channel cat, and I ain't enjoying reeling in those, but fortunately we ain't hooked in any of them today. And even if we do hook a channel cat at some point, I need to switch out my line anyway. I ain't switched it out since I got back home from North Carolina, so I need to put on some fresh line. Somebody asked me in the comment box recently about my catfish line, how often I switch it out. And usually my catfish reels, I'll change the line out on there 2-3 times a year. Yeah, every few months. But with Ultralight, I change it out. Lord, there's one of them spiders right there, y'all. I guarantee you that's from that tree. But with my Ultralight rod, I switch it out every 2 or 3 trips. Keep it good and fresh. With a 2-pound line, you ain't got a lot of, you know, when you lose a little bit of the strength, you ain't got much to work with. So I want to keep it good and fresh. Where's some fish at, y'all? We need some fish. I'm impatient. You can't let me catch a fish on just about every cast, then give me 3 to 5 minutes without a bite. These fish are doing me wrong right here. It's cruel and unusual punishment. Oh, Lord. Okay, Bob's saying the drill is complete over there. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for the update. Got a fish here, too. This fish heard that the drill is complete, so now he's ready to bite again. Steam plant probably sent these fish a memo saying they couldn't bite during the drill. That's probably what it was. There's another one. Come on down, fish. Maybe if I got on some more of them here again. There's another one there that ain't too bad. I might have to use the pliers to get this out of you, fish. You better calm down. Don't put that fin in me now. He ain't hooked very deep, but just deep enough for me not to be able to get it with my fingers there. Well, goodness gracious. I'm gonna get it, fish, I promise. There we go. Now we got it. You're welcome, fish. Alright, well, let's see if we can throw over there again. Got a little something going here. Maybe we found a few more. There's just another one. That's 3 for 3. We back on a little roll here. Back on a little dinner roll. I'll tell you where I had a roll at the other night, or some bread, looked like a roll. It's up there at the Outback Steakhouse. And I wasn't a big fan. I ain't had Outback, and God, it's been years. Here's another fish. There's 4 for 4. We're on a streak. And I haven't had Outback before then in years. I normally, if I'm gonna go get a steak, I normally go to Longhorn. But I went to Outback, and it wasn't worth the crap. I was like, this is probably why I ain't been up here in years. And come on, fish, get out now. We got a streak going. You messing things up, fish. This is, get out of here. I still can't get him out. There we go. Goodness gracious. I done forgot what fish that was in the streak now. Is that 4? I think that was 4. Dang fish, we done drifted by all his friends. That's probably why he's doing it. He's saving his friends. I had one right then. I pulled it out. I bet I pulled it out too far. That's gonna break our streak again. That fish sabotaged our streak. Just like Outback Steakhouse sabotaged my streak of having a good steak when I stopped up there. You know, when I go get a steak, I like going to Longhorn. Shout out to Bernie if he's watching. I was at the Longhorn up in Knoxville. I can't remember when. I guess it's been within the last month. It's before I went to North Carolina. But one of the cooks up there recognized me as I was walking out. His name was Bernie. He cooks a mean steak, I'll tell you that. I ain't never had a bad experience at Longhorn, but my parents, on the other hand, they ate there the other day, and they hated it. They said both my parents had a bad meal that day. So I don't think they'll ever go back, but I like Longhorn. They got good steak. Their salads that they give you with the steak are really good. I ain't never had a bad experience. And they get you in and out quick too. Like, you know, a lot of places you go, if you try eating somewhere in Knoxville on Saturday night, about 6 o'clock, most of them restaurants up there, you're gonna have to wait 30 minutes, an hour, to get a table. The Longhorn usually gets you right in within 10-15 minutes, and the food comes quick and it's good and pretty cheap too compared to some of the other places you get steak at around town. So I'm a fan of Longhorn. I'm a fan of old Bernie's a fan of me. I'm a fan of Bernie. He cooks a good steak. So shout out to Bernie if he's watching. I know he watched catfish videos. He recognized me up there. This fish ain't gonna recognize me. This fish right here ain't never seen me before, but he's gonna remember me. You didn't recognize me, but you're gonna remember me, fish. I'll haunt this fish's dreams. You ate that thing kind of deep too, didn't you? We got it back out of you though. We got it. Man, I'll tell you something. I don't know. I hope that fella does the stats is watching, because we've caught a bunch of fish out here this morning. Now, the biggest bluegill I ain't touched 8 inches. But I mean, we have got a lot of fish, just numbers wise. I mean, this area has been stacked with bluegill. That's another one I may need the pliers on right here. There we go. Didn't need them after all, did we? I mean, there's been a million bluegill right here. And I guess they're just all up on these trees waiting on them mayflies to drop. There's another one. Is this 3 in a row right here? We got another little mini streak going. Boy, something's wrong with this one, y'all. Something's. Hang on, fish. I want to take a look at you. Let's see if we can diagnose your malfunction. Yep. He didn't want to be diagnosed. It looked like he either had a sore on him or something had bit him on his belly, but he's embarrassed. He didn't want anybody to notice. He didn't want anybody to know he's been bullied or something. Some other fish probably bit him down there. Fish, it's a fish eat fish kind of world. Just like that, I think we're gonna lose our streak. Well, we've been teased with some streaks today. Well, I think 6 was our longest one. Unless I was on a streak and was just flapping my gums and didn't know. Either way though, we've caught a bunch of fish. Not much variety. I think what? Two small largemouth and that skipjack in addition to the bluegill. And I think they've all been bluegill. Like I don't think we've had any like red-breasted sunfish, or they're all bluegill to me, but you know, I don't think we've had any variations from the. Well, I'm in another tree here. I wonder if I can get this out and shake that branch at the same time. Now can I even get the thing out? Okay, there it comes. Well, it's a wonder. I'm doing that. It's a wonder we ain't losing some jigs. And you know what? Outside of me getting my line all messed up around my rod tip, we ain't had to retie today. Aside from that one time, I ain't lost any jigs to snags. We still rocking the same one we started with. Wouldn't that be impressive if I made it the whole trip? I almost want to end the trip right now just so I can say I done it. Probably be the only way that happens is to end it now, but that'd be pretty cool to make it the whole day on the same jig head. I ain't really been through that many gulp either. I think 4 or 5 gulp. That's a lot of fish for no more gulp and jig heads than we used. Let's just keep making our way down through here. I'm gonna throw in here on this tree. Y'all don't let me forget to go up by that bridge and get me a thumbnail though. I gotta do that before I go today. That's very important. We'll have to go somewhere with better lighting than what we got over here. There may be 3 or 4 of you that watch this video with the poor lighting, but ain't nobody gonna click on the video if I got a thumbnail with bad lighting. We're really in a prime location here though for a summer day, because I mean it's staying shaded here a while that sun comes up. I'm in another tree. I can't get my line off that branch. Oh, look at that! Look at all the mayflies right there. We're about to start them feeding again. I can't get my jig out now though. I can't get it out, y'all. There it comes. Boy, I've shook a bunch out right here. We're gonna get some stuff feeding. They'll either be feeding here or downstream from here when these mayflies that fell down in the water get going. There's another one on my leg. Get, you old thing. Shaking the mayflies like shaking the money tree. This one right here wanted him a bite of something, and he got one with a hook in it. I imagine, you know, we talk about sore lip and fish and stuff, but I bet you these fish are used to it, because you think about it, pretty much every fish has got a dorsal fin or pectoral fins. It's got little that are prickly. You know, you take like a largemouth bass, for instance. He's eating bluegill, he's eating yellow bass and white bass and, you know, pretty much everything that swims. Like, all those fish have prickly fins. Like, they're going to stick you. And I would think biting down on a bluegill and taking that dorsal fin in the roof of your mouth, that's got to be more painful than a small hook. Has to be. Whatever this is a little better quality. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's a nice bluegill right there. Nice. Hello, sir. How do this morning? Let's throw you on the board too. You're probably in that 7-inch range. My board don't start measuring until 8, but yeah, he's another one that's probably 7.5-ish, I'd say, truth be told. It's a good quality gill. Oftentimes when I do my ultralight fishing, I like going to Melton Hill Reservoir because I feel like the quality of the bluegill is a little better there than some of the other places here in East Tennessee. But anytime I can get bluegill that's 7-8 inches and up, on public water anyway, I'm happy with it. Now, farm ponds and stuff where them fish are fed and they don't have as many predators, those are going to get a lot bigger, you know, just a lot better quality. But for public water, I'm very happy getting 7-8 inch bluegill, and they're a dang good time with the tackle I use. I thought for sure we shook that tree real good, there'd be a lot of fish around, but they maybe not any around this area right here. I feel like my reel's low. There we go. I'm about to lose a handle off a reel here. That'd make for a show. My daggone reel handle fall off. Yeah, I'm gonna fish a little while longer and I'll go home and get to work on some chores. Maybe one of these days I'll get enough views, hire me an assistant or something, knock out some of them chores. Maybe somebody I can delegate some stuff to, but that day ain't today. I gotta move some stuff around the carport too. I picked up a kayak yesterday afternoon. Not for me, but Daniel, Catfish Sumo, got him a new kayak. He bought a new to him but used kayak from a fella up in Knoxville. And of course Daniel lives down in Chattanooga, so I went and picked it up for him because I'm a true friend, folks. That's what I do. So we got another fish right here, but it's gonna be a couple weeks before he can come get it. So I gotta rework some stuff on the carport, make some space. So that's one of the projects today. Before y'all ask, because somebody probably will, he got a real good deal on a New Canoe Unlimited. Now, I'm not a fan of New Canoe. In fact, I hate the company. I just had a real bad experience with that company a few years ago. It'd be hard for me to ever own another one of their kayaks. This fish right here, he said he'll never have one of their kayaks either. But he got a real good deal on it. Got the kayak, motor guide, XI3 motor. The kayak had a bunch of accessories with it. It had like that $200 gear pod that they sell. It had their $400 rudder system with both the hand and foot control. Had 2 lithium batteries, one for a graph and one for the motor. I mean, like, this thing was rigged out, and it came with a trailer. And he got that whole package for $2,500. So time he sells off some of the stuff he don't need on it,
he'll be in that kayak for under $2,000. It was a really good deal. Like if I didn't have such a bad taste in my mouth from my experience with NuCanoe, I would have probably got it myself, but I hold grudges. What can I say? You cross me once, we're probably done for life. Like Hollywood Hulk Hogan back in the 90s, man. NWO for life. Did you like that 1990s throwback wrestling reference there? Some of you got that, some of you didn't. This fish got it. He got the hook in the jaws, what he got. Fishy, come on down. Yeah, I could sit here and do this all the time, y'all. It's fun. Fun times out here doing this. Look at this. We got a cameo appearance here. I got him right by the wings. Get out of here, you old mayfly. You old thing. You ain't landing on my rod. Get over there in the water and get eaten. What are we at on time? How is this video still going without having to change batteries? Boy, it's got to be time. We're 2 hours and 40 something minutes. We got to be running low on battery here, y'all. It's got to be winding down. Being that it ain't the face of the sun hot out here right now, that's definitely helping keep things going. Oh, and you know what else? You know what else I bet's the reason? Too. What I've been doing lately, and again, most of y'all don't give a crap about this, but on these ultralight videos where I'm running the camera continuously, I've been running the battery pack, plugging it into the camera without a battery, because that battery heats up inside, and that's what causes you to overheat all the time. So normally I just take the regular battery out and plug the battery pack in. I forgot to do that this time. So technically we've got the battery pack plus the extra battery. And I guess today, since it's been cool out here this morning and we've been in the shade, that's why we ain't overheated. Either way, that's good. We ain't had to fool with it. One good thing about GoPro, when you do overheat or if you run out of battery, it will beep at you and let you know. That's very helpful. My old cameras, my old Sony cameras, there were times when I would overheat and have no clue, and it would just stop recording, and you know, you go to edit your footage later and you're like, well, lost all that because the dang camera wasn't running. Or you'd catch a big fish, hold it up, you do your spill, and I'd go to reset my camera. Yep, wasn't even running. So nice of GoPro to at least let us know when something goes wrong. I will be curious to see when GoPro comes out with, I think it's normally September or October when they release their new camera. But you know, here's what I don't understand. So right now I'm filming this with the GoPro 10, and it'll be GoPro 12 that comes out here next month or so. For the entire line, like all 11 models that they currently have out, people gripe about the same problems. It's like, how have you improved the picture quality time and time and time again, but not fixed minor details? Like the camera locking up. Like back when I ran the media mod on this so that I could have an external mic, I gave all that up. But when I was trying to do that, I would get these little episodes at least once a trip where the camera would just stop recording, but the screen would freeze up. And I'd have to take the battery out, put it back in to reset it and get it going again. Like it would do that. And it was all because of that media mod being plugged into it. Because once I stopped using it, I haven't had that problem anymore. But, you know, there's that issue. There's the overheating. Sometimes I randomly lose audio on clips. It's like, how have they had the same problems for a decade and still can't get them worked out? But yet DJI, fairly new in the action camera world, and I guess, you know, that was probably a smart business plan on DJI's part, is to say, okay, well, everybody's having problems with the GoPro in these certain areas. We're going after their market share. Let's go fix those problems. So probably smart business on DJI's part, but if DJI can solve those issues, why the hell can't GoPro? Mystery of the universe. Like women being upset when you see them in bra and panties, but not in a bikini with their whole butt cheeks hanging out. I mean, them damn women, like, they'll post scantily clad pictures all over Instagram and Facebook, but you walk in on one of them in the bathroom, standing there and full coverage of everything while you're about to crap your pants, and they're all tore up about it for days. I mean, it took several shifts for her to get back to normal with me, working together again. Now, I tried to explain it to her. I was like, look, Jordan, listen, when a man's about to crap his pants, he ain't trying to look through your brassiere to see a part of an areola, you know? You got bigger priorities at that time. And these women now, I don't know if some of y'all have seen this new trend. Let me fix this Gulp back on here. We'll talk some more about women, stuff I don't understand. So the style now, and neither one of these styles make any sense whatsoever for me. I got my line around my rod tip. Fella, I know your women, your girlfriend, wives, they ain't still watching at this point. 2 hours and something in this video, but holler at them a second and tell them to put their quilts down in the other room. I got something else to ask them here. So the new style with women fashion now, there's 2 things going on. One is these women are buying these pants with holes in them. Like the knees are all tore out of them and stuff, and they look like they're an old pair of pants, but they ain't. And they're spending a fortune on these pants that are all got holes in them and stuff. I don't understand that. Like, why don't you just get a pair of pants that ain't got holes in them and wear them until they do get holes in them? But that's style for some reason. Pants with holes in them. I mean, I'm talking like whole knees and stuff ripped out of them, both legs. That's style. Makes no damn sense to me. I don't know why that is. The second trend, and I'll be honest with you, this one I kind of like, but I still don't understand it. These women are wearing these workout pants. Lululemon or something. And so Mondays and Thursday nights up in Knoxville, there's a sushi place that has half-price sushi. And the only time, a man of my means, the only time you can afford to eat there is on Monday and Thursday nights when it's half price. But when you go to this place, it's hot. It's a hot girl haven. I mean, like, there ain't that many hot looking women in Knoxville, but they all go eat at this sushi place. And so it's a good place to do some people watching, because the views are pretty nice usually. I mean, like, if a woman's a 10, she's eating at this place. So anyway, you watch these women walk in, and this place ain't like Longhorn. They ain't gonna get you in 10 minutes. Like, you go up there on half price night, you're waiting 45 minutes to an hour. But anyway, you sit there and you do some people watching as you wait to get your table. Every woman that walks in, she's either got jeans on that are all tore up at the kneecaps, But her new jeans, again, they ain't old jeans. They're new jeans that they've bought with holes already in them. I don't get it. Or they're wearing these workout pants, these Lululemons, lemons. I don't know how to say the word. Lulu something. And they're like these tight, I mean, again, I ain't complaining about this trend because it's nice, but it's so dang tight. They're giving themselves a front wedgie, if you know what I mean. Very, very revealing. Even though there's fabric covering stuff, it's very revealing. Way more revealing than your standard bra and panties that a woman would be wearing under her clothes. But again, them women will walk up there around the sushi place with a front wedgie, not embarrassed about it at all. But if you see that same woman in her bra and panties, she's going to flip out about it. I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand it. So you fellas, holler in there at your wives, tell her to get out of her craft room and answer that question for me, because I can't figure it out on my own. But that's the two trends going on with women's fashion right now. I've seen it with my own eyes. Every time I go up there and partake in half-price sushi night. I tell you, if you go up there and eat that place, you better go on a Monday or Thursday afternoon, because you can't. Well, some of y'all out there maybe could afford it, but I sure as heck ain't. It's pretty ridiculous prices. It's good. It's pretty ridiculous outside of half price night. If them women didn't spend so much money buying jeans with holes in them, they could probably afford to go on a night that wasn't half price night. That's probably why they all up there on Mondays and Thursdays. But if you're looking for a hot woman in the city of Knoxville, that's the place to be, because that's where they go. Where'd the fish go? That's what I need to know right now. We're getting down here now in this area where there's all this gunk on the water. We'll swing around this branch here, see what's going on over here. Yeah, I don't get it, y'all. But I will admit the new trend with these Lululemons britches that give these women the front wedgie. It's a trend I can get behind, but I don't understand it. Used to be women would try to hide that kind of thing, like that was, you called it a moose knuckle or a camel toe or something, and it was an embarrassment for them. So I guess I should commend them on taking something that used to be embarrassing for them and turning it into a positive, making a fashion statement out of it. So I guess we should commend them for it. That's what them pants do. I bet you them pants probably cost $85 a pair though. Probably cost me $85 to catch a fish right now. Tell you, where the hell did they go? I can't get a bite down through here. Seems like the current's going this way now. We've switched. They must have stopped generating or something. Because it is. The water's moving this way now, and all this grass and all this stuff's on the water right there. Let's slide back, get away from this, see if we can get back on them fish. How long we been at? I ain't gonna fish much longer, y'all. Lord, we've been at this crap almost 3 hours. I done lost most of the audience by now. That's all right. Let's turn around here, start kind of fishing our way back. When I get back down here past where we was getting them other fish, we'll maybe wrap it up on a day or something. I gotta go be a responsible adult, get some crap done at the house. That way I can go catfishing tomorrow. If I get my stuff done today, I can go catfishing tomorrow without it hanging over my head. This kind of trip here, an ultralight trip, don't really mind having something hanging over my head, waiting on me when I get home, because I know I can come out here and in 2 or 3 hours time I can catch a bunch of fish like we've done today. But if I go out on a catfishing trip and I ain't got but 2 or 3 hours that I can fish before I need to be doing stuff, there's a good chance that maybe I don't catch anything, you know, and it messes with my mind and stuff. I'd rather not have a lot of stuff to do on a catfishing trip, not have a lot of responsibilities waiting for me. I got gunk all over my jig here, y'all. We're gonna have to get away from this mess that's moving down river right now. Since the current change, all this debris on the water's coming at us. We're going to get up here in some cleaner water. Yeah, that's your homework for today, y'all, is look up women's fashion trends. You'll know what I'm talking about with them women with the jeans with the holes in them and the workout pants with the camel toe. And then you need to get on hellotushy.com, not tushy.com. I mean, you may want to go, some of you out there may want to go to tushy.com, and I ain't going to judge you if you do. But it ain't a bidet site. I'll tell you, it ain't. You're gonna be in for a surprise if you go to tushy.com thinking it's a bidet site. But y'all need to get on there and get yourselves cultured with the world. Step out of the Stone Ages, get you a bidet. It'll change your life. Make it hard to appreciate spending $100 on a hotel that's only got toilet paper, though. But I'll tell you this, the continental breakfast over there at the Comfort Inn in Oxford, North Carolina, it was definitely worthwhile. I mean, they had real eggs, and they'd mix it up every day. Some days you'd have like fried eggs, some day you'd have scrambled eggs. They had breakfast potatoes and hash browns, and they had a waffle maker. They had various kinds of cereal, pastries. I mean, it was like a full spread out there. Like they had a dedicated staff person just to the kitchen area out there. And most of the time nowadays, it's some of the hotels I've stayed at on recent trips, the continental breakfast will consist of a muffin and a banana or something, and some watered down orange juice. At this place, it was actually a decent breakfast. I got a mayfly right there on my foot, man. You get on, mayfly. I get home, there'll be mayflies in every crevice of this kayak. Them things, you turn a light on at night in mayfly season, you better look out. They will swarm that light. They will be all over it. This fish is all over it too. We finally got another bite here. That's a bass. Fit my drag somehow. Come on, make a jump for us, you old large jaw. Where you been today? You only, I think, the third bass we've caught today. There he goes too. Barely get him going. Oh, large jaw. Some people call them bucket mouths, but that one there was more like a thimble mouth, as small as he was. Got a boat coming behind us over here. We ain't seen many boats today. I think that's what actually, I think that was the same one that went by there earlier. So it's been a good day for that. That's what I like, folks. I like to come out and have the water to myself. I'm selfish like that. It's public water. It's here for everybody to enjoy. Pleasure boaters too, but I don't care about those people. I want it to myself. I don't want the wakeboarders to enjoy the water. Comes the boat wake. Maybe it'll stir something up over there. Maybe that boat wake will get up there and splash some of them branches. Maybe have some more mayflies on and put it in the water. I don't know how the life cycle of a mayfly works. Like, they're only here for a brief amount of time and then they die. I guess they must lay their eggs somewhere. They lay their eggs and maybe they come out next year around this time, fly around, lay some more eggs, and then I guess that's the cycle. Hard life being a mayfly. I guess lightning bugs probably the same way. It's about the end of the season for them too. I think lightning. Oh, did you see that? I think that was a skipjack come out of the water right there chasing the gulp as I was reeling it in. Another small one. Them lightning bugs usually show up at my house. I think it's around June usually. June or July. And the June bugs, they Japanese beetles, I think is what they actually are. We call them June bugs. They fly around. If those show up, and they don't show up every year anymore, they used to, but they don't anymore. But if they do, I think they're normally around July, early August. And the mayflies, it seems like they're a little bit different every year. Sometimes they in June, sometimes July. We're August now, and they're mid-August. Well, I'm filming this, and they're in full force out here right now. This one little stretch right here, though, man, it's been productive. We ain't killed it on quality, but we've killed it on numbers today. I really thought we'd get us a smallmouth at some point through here, with all these rocks and stuff, but no such luck today. Not yet, anyway. I ain't gonna fish much farther down through here. I think I'm gonna get over here where we was catching them fish at when we got on them over here, and I'll probably call it quits after that. Get home and get started. I've had a good morning out here, so we'll see if we can't get us a few more between here and there, but I'm gonna run up here. When we done, I think I'll run up there and just do my thumbnail on that. It crossed my mind maybe we'd work our way around and go up to that bridge, fish our way up, but I think I'll just run up there and grab a thumbnail and go get Daphne out of her crate at the house. And she can help me. She can help supervise some projects outside today. Tell you folks, she's turned into a pretty good dog. She didn't get in any trouble at all down at my parents' house. So she didn't dig out under their fence. She didn't chew up any electrical wires. Didn't rip the gutter off their house. Like stuff that she normally has done in the past, she didn't do this time. So I'm quite proud of her. She's turning into a fine young lady. I thought we was going to be getting her another bicycle. This company reached out, and I replied with my usual reply. Like, I've done so many of these bicycle videos now. I know what they want and what they're looking for. So instead of exchanging 20 emails back and forth to answer their questions, I've got a standardized reply that answers all of the questions they're going to ask me up front. It streamlines the process. And so they contacted me, I sent that reply. Everything was good to go. I'm like, okay, all right, we've done this with 2 emails, great. Send them my shipping address, you know, all that stuff. Get another email. They're about to send the bike, but they want to talk to me about the script in my video and how long their bike's going to be featured and all this. And I was like, oh, here we go. All right, it's over. We're done with this company. Because one, I don't script no videos. I mean, it's fishing. How the hell do you, I mean, I guess some people do, but like, how the hell do you script fishing? Like, if I could, here's a fish. If I could script a fishing video, I'd script about 3 50-pound fish and a couple 100-pounders into every video. That's what I do. It just don't work like that. I ain't a scripting person. Even these raw and uncut videos where I'm talking for, oh, that fish puked on me too. Dadgummit. You know, I'm just talking about whatever pops in my mind. I ain't coming out here with no agenda or anything. You know, so I ain't doing that. And I told these bike companies, and I say it in that email, I'm like, I'm going to retain creative control. I will work your bike into the video best I can, but I'm not a bicycle channel, I'm a fishing channel. And so it's to your best interest that I focus on the fishing content, because that's going to keep my audience engaged and keep your bike in front of them longer, versus me trying to do a bicycle video that none of y'all are going to be interested in. You know, so it's to their best interest, but they don't care. They want, you know, they want to tell you how to do things, and I ain't letting some Chinese bicycle company tell me how to do a fishing video, regardless of how expensive that bike is and how much I can sell it for when I'm done. So Daphne ain't getting that bicycle. I had to break her the bad news. I'd already told her she's getting a new bike, and I could see she was excited about it, because she knows the word bike. Like, she's learned when I say you want to go ride bike, like, she gets excited. She knows. We do that every day. We've sold all the bikes but one. We keep one because she likes to chase me around the yard. I'll chase her for a little while. She'll chase me for a little while. That's how we run out her energy. But she's learned that word, so I'd already told her she's getting a new bike. And then they follow up with that email. And I'm like, no, you just go ahead and keep that bike. You find some other sucker, because I ain't doing it. Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to do my videos. There, oh, I lost him. Let's fix our gulp back. We're trying to get the maximum fish right there on that gulp. I'll lose this one. We probably done, because I ain't gonna put on a fresh one for no more than I'm gonna fish right here. That bicycle racket though, man, it's been good to me. I think we've gotten somewhere between 15 20 bikes, I guess. I need to count them up. I turn around and sell them things. I figure out whatever the retail price is that they're selling, I put them half price. Put them on Marketplace and they gone within a day. I got a waiting list right now, 3 people deep, for when I get some more. So it's been a real good racket for me. I told Daphne, I said, you earning your keep, dog. You keep this up, you might get to stick around another year. I threatened to take her back to the pound all the time. I wouldn't do it though. I'm attached to her at this point. There were times when I thought she was going back to the pound, but at this point she's grown on me now. She's my dog, I'm her person, I guess. I think we was right in here when we started getting bit this morning. It's right up here's the end of that point there at the end of the Emory. Yeah, it's been a real nice morning out here, y'all. Nice and cool. Tons of fish. No pleasure boat traffic. No wakeboarders. We got to be part of the drill over here at Steam Plant, whatever the hell they's doing. That way Bob can justify his job. We've helped him stay employed. We've accomplished a lot out here this morning. There's another fish we're going to accomplish too. Is that another bass? It is. We got us another largemouth. I think. Oh, he's gone too. Heck with him. We didn't want to bring him in anyway. Here's another little one, but another large jaw. There's some land for sale right here, y'all, in the market, y'all. If you're looking for some riverfront property here on the side of a hill, there's a for sale sign. Riverfront property on the side of a hill. We couldn't build nothing here. Couldn't put a dock here. I bet you it's probably only $500,000. You think I'm joking? It probably is. Prices of land and houses here in Tennessee since the pandemic, and everybody started moving here, take advantage of our no state income tax and good fishing and good climate. Everything's went up in price. You know, for somebody like me, already had a house prior to the housing boom. I guess it's kind of been good, I guess. I mean, technically my property value has went up, but it really only matters if you're looking to sell, which I'm not. So I guess it's kind of good, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you were trying to buy a house here now, buddy, you're paying way more than what you would pay pre-pandemic, when everybody realized they could move to the greatest state in the union. We got it pretty good here. Good fishing, no state income tax, cheaper gas prices. I was talking to some of them about this in North Carolina when I went over there on that trip. So North Carolina, one state over from where we're at, they've got a state income tax. And when I've worked over there on travel nursing contracts in the past, I'm like, even though I don't live in the state, I still have to pay state income tax when you work there. But I'm like, these people that live in North Carolina, they're paying this tax. What do you get for it? Like, really, what do you get for it? Your roads are terrible. People pay more for gas over there. Their property taxes are more. Their schools, I don't know if they're any worse than our schools, but they're for damn sure not any better. And it's like, where does that money go that you're giving up? I can't remember what the tax rate was for the state income tax. 3%, 5%, something like that. I don't remember. But whatever the hell it is, it's like, you know, what do you get for it? If you're paying a state income tax, that state should be better for the residents than the states with no state income tax. Like, the roads should be better, the schools should be better, the public facilities should be better. Like, that money, where does it go? So, yeah, I was talking to some of them over in North Carolina about that. I'm like, you all getting ripped off on this state income tax. So I assume I'll probably be in Tennessee my whole life because it is the best state in the union. But if I ever was to move somewhere, it probably wouldn't be to a state that had a tax. I'd go to Florida or Texas or somewhere that ain't got that income tax. What do you think, y'all? You about ready to wrap it up? Where we at? Lord mighty, we're well over 3 hours at this point. I appreciate you watching this though, man. I've posted the last 2 raw and uncut videos I've posted have been over 3 hours, and sure enough, there's some of you that have watched them all the way through. The watch time on there just blows my mind that people sat through this. But I do hope, I mean, I sincerely hope that those of you out there who are watching that can't go fishing for whatever reason, whether it be health or disability, or, you know, you're working, you're on the road, you're whatever, you know, whatever the reason you can't go, I hope that these videos make you feel as if you're out here with me. Like we're just two fishing buddies, just out here chatting it up, catching some fish, because that's the goal. So I hope that's how you feel, for those of you who do watch. But I sure appreciate you, because it's enjoyable for me, because I like doing this style of fishing. You know, it's something I do anyway, and so the fact that there's enough of you who watch for me to be able to justify doing this for video purposes, you know, it means a lot to me. I'm thankful for it, so I appreciate all of you. This fish right here, he don't appreciate nothing. What do you think, fish? You want to be the last one on the video? What kind of honor would that be for your family if you could be the last one on the video? I don't know that this fish cares. He don't care. How many fish have I dropped down in the floor of the kayak today? That fish, he's trying to take that line right there with him too. He wanted a souvenir. You can't take that fish. That'll choke a bird. There'll be birds wrapped up in it. Get out of here, fish. Let me dry my hands off right there. Well, y'all, I think I got something else on the camera lens too. Y'all got to tell me when they fish splashy, doggone it. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna run up here to this bridge here on the clinch side, snap a picture for a thumbnail, I reckon. And then we'll go to the house and get started on some projects that none of y'all have taken care of. I know yous ain't took care of them projects. You'll come fishing with me, but ain't none of yous out there doing no yard work or working around the house and stuff. But anyway, it's been fun, y'all. Very productive. Don't know how many fish we caught, but it's been a bunch, and I've had a dang good time, and I hope you have too. So anyway, going catfishing tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.